Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
Hear that? That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, you got 10 minutes? Then you've got time for the new podcast, 10 Takes with Kyle Brandt. Every Monday, I give you 10 takes from the NFL, from the universe, and I give them to you in just 10 minutes. I'm telling you, you may just have the best time you've ever had listening to a podcast. It could be a crazy play I'm talking about. It could be how I hate child car seats and I don't know how to install them. You just never know. Listen to 10 Takes on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Now, sometimes it don't always work for an injury, but it practice makes it perfect.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingles Studio.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat, always important on a Threadbare Thursday. All of your questions answered. Got questions about the playoff picture here. Will Aaron Rodgers actually make his comeback? Continues. The speculation continues behind the return of Jeremy Savior.
I've heard an interesting theory, and there might be some merit to it.
There could be. It's the best scenario that we've heard so far. So we'll bring you that throughout the show today, as well as, of course, answering all of your questions in the YouTube chat. Patrick Holt already wants to know who's going to be the next defensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders.
Well, I mean, I'd like to know who the head coach is before I start picking the coordinator.
Yeah.
As I go ahead and tell you, but I don't feel like Ron Rivera is going to be the one making that call.
Yeah,
he could. I told you yesterday there was a path to it. There's also a path that I could be the next president of the United States. Mm-hmm. It's a real bumpy road. Mm-hmm. Requires a lot of things that are highly unlikely.
Highly doubt that he's going to be sticking around for next year, but you never know. We got playoff picture things going on in the NFL. College football heating up with the transfer portal, and Matt Rule saying the quiet part out loud. Can't wait to get your reaction on that, Jeremy.
The fact that you think it's that cheap is adorable.
And tonight kicks off Week 13 in the NFL. Thursday night football, Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks. Jeremy will have his picks coming for you at the end of the next 2 hours.
It feels like the greatest layup in the history of layups.
Well,
I mean, after I just watched Seattle get scattered, smothered, covered, diced, chunked, chopped, diced against San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't love your chances tonight.
Well, I don't like the fact that you're going to have to play without your running back either.
Yeah, no Kenny Walker, which means you're going to get Zach Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing the Tommy DeVito thing?
I'm just doing the Tommy
with him?
DeVito thing to everything now.
There's everything. Feel like, I don't know.
Hey, get the gabagoo.
Yeah, easy now. We're going to get a cease and desist from the Anti-Defamation League or something.
Look, what was that guy's name? That I keep wanting to say Vincent D'Onofrio. The guy that played Tony Soprano.
Yep.
I can't think of his name.
I don't know.
If he can get by with it, so can I. I understand.
I want to say Tom Sizemore, but that ain't right.
That's
That's not the guy.
No, Tom Sizemore.
What was his name?
He acted a lot of things, but most of the time he was acting sober because he weren't.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, I think.
This is driving me. James Gandolfini. It's like he's a Jets fan. I should know this. Or was a Jets fan. R.I.P.
Just fitting the stereotype even more, right? Of him being a Jets fan. Just fits the stereotype even more.
Yeah, but he actually was a Jets fan. Like a diehard.
I know. I mean, are you excited about tonight at all?
God, no.
Because do you think it's going to be a bloodbath?
Yes.
I mean, it's got all the opportunity to be. And
anytime 90% of the money is on one side in an NFL game, you feel pretty good that you're all seeing this the way that I am.
Right. But part of me feels like this is it's not a must win because the NFC is so bad that Seattle losing tonight and dropping to 6-6, that's not going to kill any their playoff hopes.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure you're right.
Are you sure?
Look at the rest of the schedule. They're 6-5 right now. They play at the Dallas Cowboys tonight. They play at the San Francisco 49ers in 10 days. They play at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, we're sitting 6-8. You better win out against the Titans, the Steelers, and the Cardinals. 2 of those 3 are on the road.
And one of those is definitely not going to be easy.
Yeah, the Steelers game won't be fun.
Exactly. I don't think it's over if you lose tonight. But
I'm not going to say it's over. I will just say if you lose tonight, you have absolutely no margin of error.
Absolutely not.
I mean, because you got to look around the NFC, and it's a slightly different landscape than we had previously. I mean, because we thought, okay, these 5 are just going to walk into the playoffs because they're so much better. And I'm not sure that that's not true. But you're going to lose one playoff spot to the NFC South. You got Minnesota that's currently sitting in the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, I don't love Jordan Love, and I'm never going to, but they're playing better. The Los Angeles Rams are only a game behind you. He's not pretty.
It's not going to be comfortable.
Well, I mean, and the problem is that they own the tiebreaker over you. If you tie with the Rams.
The Rams, yeah.
And they still have games with the Commanders, Saints, and Giants. Now, the other 3, maybe we shouldn't talk about because those aren't going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be tight, but I don't think it's over. But here's the thing. I think this is the one of the 3 that you could possibly sneak. Now, again, Dallas is 5-0.
Tell me how you're going to do that.
Dallas is 5-0 at home. I don't like your chances, obviously, without your running back. I've already said that.
I could care less about your running back.
Really?
You can tell me you're getting prime Sean Alexander. I still wouldn't like Seattle tonight. How exactly do you plan on dealing with Micah Parsons tonight? The interior of your line has been god-awful. And you've really got one of these 2 receivers is going to catch a bad matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Deron Bland, not a bad second quarter, might be the defensive player of the year. Trayvon Diggs at this point is hey, we're going to put you on Tyler Lockett. I don't like any of this.
I don't like it. But do you like their chances to beat either the 49ers or the Eagles more?
I'm going to say no, Bob.
Okay.
I give that a 1% chance for all 3.
Okay. I'm not saying it's a great chance. I just feel like this is probably the one. If you were going to sneak one of these 3, this might be it. I don't know how you're going to happen. I don't know how you're going to do it because Dallas is playing great, and I don't think your defense is up to the task.
I don't either. I don't give Seattle an advantage tonight.
I feel like
in any of the 3 phases.
I feel like Dak Prescott might be playing some of the best football I've ever seen him play.
I keep hearing that, and I mean you're not wrong. Sweet. So now he's the 8th best quarterback in the league instead of the 9th.
No doubt. But that's what has to happen. For this team to be successful, he has to play the best he's ever played.
And see, against Seattle, I don't agree with you. playing against Philadelphia, San Francisco, the top of the AFC, you're right. In a game like this, I need you to just be the definition of average. And Dallas has shown a great propensity to do that. Now, look, Dallas hasn't beaten, and I think it was Jason Trump that said this in the YouTube comments, they haven't beaten teams that are over 500. Well, Seattle's just barely above 500. I mean, this is not like they're playing the cream of the crop. And if you look back through the season with Dallas, you tell me where the similarity comes in here. The 49ers of the Eagles. Is there a huge difference between those two and the Seattle Seahawks? Yeah.
I would say so.
And yes, there was that blip game against the Cardinals, but I feel like games like that, people get so consumed in it. You ever had a bad day? They chose a bad day to have a bad day because you lost to one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Right.
You take that game out, and yeah, it's a lot of wins over mediocre teams, but you beat the Chargers, who to me are very similar to the AFC version of the Seattle Seahawks. You beat the Rams, who they're close with. You beat the Commanders, who they're close with. I don't see a path short of Dallas comes out and beats themselves.
What about, and thank you for saying that, because I was getting ready to go down the path of what about trap game narrative? Because you look at Dallas's schedule coming up, and they go Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions over the next 4. We've already said that that's kind of a benchmark for this team, right? You want to avoid the whole narrative of, oh, it's the same old Dallas, falling apart when the competition gets tough late in the season. I mean, how much is the incentive there to avoid the Cardinals-type loss here when you're facing actual, real tough competition in the next 4 weeks?
And I guess the only thing I would say there is you got 10 days before Dallas or before Seattle. Nope. Said 2 cities, didn't get one of them right. You got 10 days before Philadelphia, and then you just kind of get back on the horse. And I mean, do you think Dallas is afraid of Buffalo? Because I don't.
No.
Do you think Dallas is overly afraid of Miami? Because I don't. Do you think Dallas is overly afraid of the Detroit Lions? Because I don't.
Overly afraid is not, I guess, no. The answer is no. You're not overly afraid.
Okay.
But you better be afraid.
All right.
You better be a little scared.
Let me say this a slightly different way. Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things just doesn't belong. And it's the Eagles, none of the other 4. You got 10 days to prepare for that game. So I'd struggle to believe, short of a Mike McCarthy grumper, which that's always on the table, and the fact Seattle just needs this infinitely more than you. That's the only 2 shots I give Seattle.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. What do you think about the game tonight? You think Dallas is just going to flex muscle against the Seahawks, or will the Seahawks be able to pull some kind of a miracle out of here? Because I think that's what it's going to take, especially without your starting running back.
We've already had a slew of questions in the comments, and I believe we've already determined our daily draft for the day.
Okay,
it's from Stephen Tao. And this is it's really well worded, too. And it's not Gatorade flavors, which he's asked us to do 416 times. Blue, white, and purple, very close. With 51 starting quarterbacks through 12 weeks, name the top 10 backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh, wow.
I think that's solid. And we had several people say they liked it. So.
Okay.
That's what we're here for. We're here to please you. That's it.
So this is best backups in the league?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's an interesting question.
That is an interesting question. The Dallas Cowboys are at a pivotal point, in my opinion. This is when you have to step up to the narrative, right? Everybody's expecting the fall to come. It's been the knock on Mike McCarthy. It's been the knock on Dak Prescott, that this is the moment in the season where we're expecting you to fall down. And if it's not going to be, you have no shot of falling out of playoff competition, right, or contention here. This team's in. They're a wild card. They're going to be the number 1 wild card. It just depends on whether or not you can do the thing that you haven't done.
I could argue Dallas clinches a playoff spot tonight. I know they won't physically, but when you use your common sense, you get to 9 wins in the NFC with all of the tiebreakers that Dallas will win, you're already in.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the rest of it doesn't really matter. You're playing Philadelphia, quote, for the division next week. You lose that game, none of the rest of this matters. Because you're out of the division. You would be 3 full games behind Philadelphia. You're not catching. They're not losing enough games for you to catch up.
Right.
Even if you win out, it doesn't matter.
Right. Now, how do you manage that the rest of the season? That's the question. How do you pick and choose? How do you do that whole, all right, so we're not playing for the division anymore. How do you play that game of pick and choose on who plays and who sits and who are we resting and all of that, knowing that you could get bitten on the other side? Do teams just, I mean, are we not where you're just going out there to play your game, right? And as soon as the game is over, we're off the field, second level's handling it. At least that would be mine. That would be my goal. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
We have our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
That's from my buddy Soaring Eagle, and he said, no, I'm not saying this because I'm a Broncos fan. The Bryce Young trade has officially passed Russell Wilson as the worst trade in NFL history. I'm going to disagree with you. It hasn't passed it yet. Could it? Oh, good Lord, yes. But we're judging that way too quickly. The Russell Wilson thing was a disaster. Look, there are a handful of really good contenders for worst trade in NFL history. Trevor Penning. New Orleans trades up to get Trevor Penning. They give up the pick that becomes Jalen Carter to the Eagles. That is going to age horrifically badly.
I mean, it already hasn't started out great.
Well, yeah, because Trevor Penning can't play healthy, and Jalen Carter is already a top 15 in the league defensive tackle.
No doubt.
Yeah, we're off to a bad start. Oh, and by the way, New Orleans would really love to have a defensive tackle right now.
But it's too early to call the Bryce Young thing the worst trade in NFL history. It obviously could trend that way because if Chicago goes and gets Caleb Williams and he turns into a superstar and ends up getting, I don't know, a cornerstone left tackle or the best edge rusher in the draft or whatever with that second pick.
Well, the second pick was theirs, so that has nothing to do with it.
I mean, it still adds up, right? Whatever they do with that second pick that they got, the second round pick that they got next year, could be bad.
We have another one before we go into the break.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's from Matthew Hoffman, who said he finally got to try the Beast Scary Berries. Best flavor, hands down. And it is very good. Since we cut that commercial, I'm not going to lie, the Scary Berries has just kind of escalated. The rest of them are still good, too. I love berry. Anything berry that's not blueberry. Blueberry is the only wrong berry.
Yeah. Still a big fan of the peach. They're all good, but the peach is still my favorite.
My wife likes the peach.
Yeah.
She's a big fan of the basically anything peach.
You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations, donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
Whether it's an ugly sweater party, office gift exchange, or holiday dinner at Nana's, Ritz Crackers is always there, bringing friends and family together to celebrate. So grab a box or two of Ritz Crackers for your next holiday gathering and make this season one to remember with Ritz, a taste of welcome.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently, there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January. Because, you know, mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Steel, and Lincoln Electric in-store or at northerntool.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
It's ESPN Asheville, and this is the Sportsocracy. And, hey, come on over to the Ingles on Smoky Park Highway this afternoon from 4 until 6. We'll be hanging out there for the Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive, benefiting our good friends at Eblin Charities and the St. Nicholas Project. We'll be out there collecting toys. They're out there for the next few days. It is the annual toy drive. Again, you can come see me. I'll be out there this afternoon, 4 to 6. Jeremy, you'll be out there tomorrow.
Correct.
From 4 to 6. And it all wraps up on Saturday afternoon. So over the next couple of days, take time out. Make sure that if you can give to a great cause and make sure that needy families have something to put under the Christmas tree for their kiddies this holiday season. Tonight, Monday Night Football. Pete Carroll trying to tell us Geno Smith looks like he's all good. He's all better. It's night and day from what we saw last week. So everything should be fine, right? It's all going to be great. It's going to be back to Geno Smith or regular Geno, or I guess trying to go back to last year's Geno.
Has there been one quarterback in NFL history that's been more maddeningly inconsistent than Geno Smith?
I mean, was there ever a moment before last year that you looked at him and went, yeah, that's the stuff? Like, ever as a Jets fan, when he was with your team, did you ever look at him and go, yeah, that was the window where he was the hope of the franchise for a moment?
He had a stretch. I want to say that was the end of the rookie year. It always seemed like he played well in the last game of the season.
Okay.
When we had no hope at anything, he always seemed to be really good. I remember he had 400 yards against the Dolphins. I don't remember what year that was.
Yeah.
But you're playing for absolutely nothing. It's one of the worst teams in the NFL. And he came out and looked like Joe Montana.
But never for any stretch of time. Just enough to tease you for the upcoming offseason.
Just enough to keep him employed.
Right. Right. And then he got sucker punched.
Geno's, oh, yeah. That's on the back of our
It is.
Jets Pain T-shirt.
What was the name of that?
And long sleeve shirt.
What's the name of the linebacker that hit him?
IK Inenkampali.
Ah, yes.
I mean, of all the dudes that you want to not settle a bet with, Geno Smith chose the wrong dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't ever welch. Don't ever welch.
That reharkens me to a old Ric Flair line every time I think about IK Inenkampali.
Yeah.
That's a big damn dude.
Let's see here. Question from Sir Jimothy in the YouTube comments. What are the chances, Jeremy, that Dan Quinn becomes the head coach of the Jets?
I'll go 0, Bob. If Robert Saleh gets fired, there is a better chance that they hire Tank Spencer to be the next head coach of the New York Jets than anybody with a defensive background.
Let's go.
It's still 0, but your 0 is slightly better than their 0.
But I like that.
But I don't think that's how this is going to go. Tank came to me earlier with a theory that he had read about Aaron Rodgers, and it might be the best one that I've heard yet.
Yeah, it was very interesting because it was a take that I hadn't heard yet about this. Was, why would Aaron want to come back if you're not chasing a playoff spot? What's the point? He could get hurt, blah, 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 blah. Maybe he has to prove something to Woody Johnson. Right, because all the talk, and you've been saying for weeks that it's going to break your heart because Joe Douglas is the fall guy, or he looks like he could be the fall guy at times.
It's breaking my heart less the more I watch the offensive line.
Because but he's built the rest of the team so well, right? You only you need a couple of pieces to make the offensive line work, and then it's good.
Has he though?
Come on.
I mean, all right. So, but just be honest with yourself. You drafted Sauce Gardner because he was the best player on the board, and it wasn't particularly all that close.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Reed was a solid guy. Quincy Williams you signed because he was Quinnen's brother. All right, Bryce Huff, okay, I'll give you that one.
You say he's just lucking into these?
No.
Jermaine Johnson taking him at 20 was a little bit of I don't know if
26.
It was right. It wasn't a reach, but he had to go get him, right? He had to get back up into the first round to get that
we
guy.
had talked about what is happening with Jermaine Johnson for 15 picks. By the way, I this has nothing to do with what we're talking about here, but I really do feel the urge to tell you, just watch every free agency signing, every draft, everything like that. The move that all of us universally go, well, how did that guy fall that far? Or why did he take that low of a deal? Almost invariably, you look at it 2 years separated from it and go, oh, yeah, that shouldn't happen at all.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have fallen in the least. Because that guy's, he's real good at football. Right. Jermaine Johnson, great example of that.
Micah Parsons, another great example of that. No, but the point of this was that maybe it's not about trying to make a playoff spot. It's kind of what I said yesterday. They're looking for the momentum for next year, and maybe Aaron has to prove it to Woody Johnson that all of the guys that he not handpicked, but basically the guys that he approved when he decided to come here, that the band stays together. Maybe he has to get on the field at the end of this year to show Woody Johnson, the owner, that this thing can work. It's the best explanation I've heard so far.
I mean, I have to say, of all the ones I've heard of why would Aaron Rodgers come back to a team that's playing for absolutely nothing?
Right.
Because there's a possibility the Jets could win out and still miss the playoffs.
You're what, 4-8?
4-7.
4-7.
But that's an interesting one of he's going to come back, to prove that I can come back faster on an Achilles than anybody, but also to say, hey, this is what you set this up for.
Mm-hmm.
Nathaniel Hackett looks pretty good when I'm the quarterback, not so much when Tim Boyle and Zach Wilson are out there. And I want to bring the band back together. It makes far more sense than anything else that I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
I still maintain I want to go with what I said yesterday. And you know what, Aaron? That's awesome. We'll give you all the things. And then the third game, when we've seen you not die, we'll put you out there with Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb and Billy Turner and all the bums that you brought to New York. And you can get a taste of your own medicine for cursing us with these talentless nobodies.
Well, you only got to put up with them for a couple of more games, maybe.
Well, except Al Lazard, who's still got guaranteed money on that god-awful deal.
No, wow.
That's aging. Good Lord. That thing is aging bad. That thing's aging worse than Frank Reich.
Yeah.
By the way, take a look at the picture of Frank Reich when he was hired and the last press conference. Wow.
Yeah. I hadn't seen a guy age 10 years like that in 11 months since probably Barack Obama when he was president. Remember how gray he went quick? It was just like, hey, he looks like the next JFK up there, all young and spry, being elected, and then 10 months into the job, he just looked like another 70-year-old president.
Yeah, it's kind of like that picture I've seen of Bill Clinton and Sammy Hagar next to each other. They're the same age. One of them had to deal with Hillary Clinton. One of them didn't. And the one that didn't, he smoked drugs a lot. He still looks 20 years younger.
Right.
The more you know.
The more you know. Maybe that is the explanation. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is pushing this because he has to prove something to ownership to keep all of his guys there, to keep Woody Johnson from blowing this thing up. I think that would be the best path for the Jets. Because I honestly have felt like since the fourth play of the season that this should be just the blip year. You had nothing to play for. I mean, I get you had all the hopes and you had all the talent on defense, but we knew how this was going to go. We knew this was going to be bad, that your offense was going to be terrible. We didn't think your offensive line was going to be this bad, but we knew it was a possibility. I feel like maybe the Aaron thing is all about proving to ownership that we just need to scrub this year and rekindle that fresh feeling. Remember that new car smell that we had at the beginning of this year?
Well, you're not going to have the new car smell.
No,
but that's not
as close to it as you can.
That. The best you can do at this point is get that crappy little spray bottle from the car wash that makes it. Well, see, that's new car smell. No, that's new car smell-ish. The one thing you can do is make it not smell like the valet from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Where they get in the car and just immediately go, oh, God, what is that? And hang their head out the car window the whole way down the Jersey Turnpike.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty good handle on the waves of rain coming through. Tomorrow's rain event won't be as big as the Saturday rain event. Either way, the rain is needed, so it's a good thing. Sunshine today as we wrap up the month at 57. There'll be some cloudy intervals at times. Thickening clouds tonight, milder upper 30s. Some scattered light rain tomorrow, breezy 55. And that rain will taper off tomorrow night before another round comes in Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. And a chance of showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Ritz. A taste of welcome.
Whether it's an ugly sweater party, office gift exchange, or holiday dinner at Nana's, Ritz Crackers is always there, bringing friends and family together to celebrate. So grab a box or two of Ritz Crackers for your next holiday gathering and make this season one to remember with Ritz. A taste of welcome.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40-pill special for just $99.
Call 800-BUY-BLUE. 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 That's 800-BUY-BLUE. Paid for by Steel Man Pills.
The iHeartRadio Asheville Pro Football Pick'em Challenge is back. Just log on to WWNC.com and go to contest, and you can sign in to make your picks. Each weekly winner wins a $50 gift card to Asheville Pizza and Brewing. Make your picks now.
The Ingles Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be at the Asheville Mall. Bring non-perishable items to the donation barrels at local Ingles locations or donate online. Join Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen Times so Manna Food Bank can fill empty plates this holiday season.
Now at Lowe's, get the lowest prices of the year on select appliances. Get up to 45% off and save an extra $100 on every $800 you spend on select appliances. Valid through 12/6. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And Jeremy, no doubt you saw the headlines from the NBA. Mark Cuban selling a big portion of the Dallas Mavericks. Right? He's hooking up.
He's also leaving Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You know, that makes me wonder if maybe, just maybe, he's gearing up for, you know, a run at the presidency, which he has talked about for quite some time, and he has been rumored to do for quite some time.
He has. It's created quite the stir on the scenarios and the speculation of what these moves are all about. What is he doing? So he's selling a 50%, or excuse me, it's a 57% stake in the Dallas Mavericks to the Adelson family, who is big in the Sands Corporation, right? The casino business.
Well, I mean, this is easy to figure out. They
Exactly.
leveraged him into, hey, we're going to build a big old casino right there in Texas as soon as gambling goes legal, and we'll let you have a roll.
And guess what I'm doing? And I'm staking my claim, right? I've got the team now owned majority by the Adelson family, which is big in Sands. I guess they're the controlling family in Sands casinos. And that's the goal for Mark, right? He is a great businessman, and he has made his billions. You know, it's why he's on television. He has the successful show about telling people how to invest and where to start up companies and such, because he can see things coming before anybody else. I thought it was funny that everybody went down the presidential path. I get why you did it, because he's hinted at it before. But this, to me, was all about, I'm getting that casino. He's taken the path that the new owner of the Mets is taking. He's building a big casino right around the stadium. And Mark wants to do the exact same thing. I did think it was funny that he said that he wants to do this because there's no tourist attraction in Texas. And that made me think, like, other than the Alamo, what is the attraction for Texas? I mean, other than, like, going to a Dallas Cowboys game.
You ever been to Austin at night? I can give you a whole bunch of 9s and 10s that are real fun to look at.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, did you take a vacation just to go clubbing down there?
Oh, in Austin?
Yeah.
Yes. I would not want to hear the opinions of any person in the entire city, because that's literally the only city in the entire state of Texas that is 100 bat excrement crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun to look around.
But it's fun to look around.
Speaking of bat excrement crazy, that's what I would say about Mark Cuban if he ran for president, because he is. Now, I'm going to give you the opportunity to, this is like an old Goosebumps book where you get to pick the ending. I have 2 stories. One of them is about the transfer portal. One of them is about the NFL. Whichever one you don't pick here will be the I'm mad I do at the end of the show.
Let's go transfer portal.
Okay. That's the one you want me to do now.
Sure.
All right. NC State quarterback MJ Morris plans to enter the transfer portal. I told you this as soon as he sat down at NC State he's gone. I'm not even sure he's been with the team for several weeks. Now, this is the part of this that doesn't make any sense to me, and it kind of ties into what Matt Rule said of a good quarterback in the transfer portal cost $1 to $2 million. So what does MJ Morris cost? Like $84 and a pack of Skittles? I mean, what do you give that guy that completes 57% of his passes?
Yeah, I don't
and
feel like
was
he's
unseated by Brennan Armstrong, who I actively thought was betting against NC State at some point.
I mean, was he unseated or was it just, I mean, he wasn't unseated. He quit, right?
Yeah, basically. He basically just went, nope, I'm good. You're bad.
Well, he went 4 games, right? Yeah. He did the 4-game thing. I played 4 games. I'm keeping my eligibility, and I'll be. And his dad came out and said, "Oh, he'll be back next year." Right?
No,
we're just taking the red shirt.
That's
year.
what a lie sounds like.
Yeah.
If you remember, that was brought up to me in your presence, and I immediately said, "That is what a lie sounds like."
Yep.
This is just the NCAA has gotten so gross. I mean, do you ever feel that way? I got a story that came across that I just so happen to know some dominoes that are getting ready to fall. Can't really disclose that, but Max Johnson, our buddy Brad, his son committed to Carolina.
Right.
Do you not just look at college football anymore and go, this is disgusting? It's all disgusting.
I don't think it's disgusting. I think it's just it's free agency, right?
Okay,
this is what we warned everybody about.
I'm going to redact the names
coming.
here. I'm gonna, because I can't disclose exactly what I know. Very large program A has been in contact with the starting quarterback of another Power 5 school. And no, it's not the one that you think it is.
Okay.
It's a done deal.
Yep.
I've been told that by 3 separate people. And this is a kid that started at a very large school that will be going to a school that is just outside of the college football playoff.
Okay.
I already know this unequivocally. The transfer portal's not actually open yet. It doesn't open until the 4th.
No, you can put your name in.
So how is this already done? What does that mean? That means that somebody back channel has been going to a 22-year-old kid going, well, we got all this money lined up for you in NIL while he's playing for somebody else. Oh, by the way, let me just tell you a fun story about quarterback X here. His team went into the toilet about 5 weeks ago. I'm not saying those two things had anything to do with each other. I am, on the other hand, saying, man, that's a real weird coincidence. That is a real weird coincidence that the first time I heard this kid was going to end up transferring to a very large school, he was a draft-level prospect. And the team went in the toilet. Oh, and by the way, there's 2 more with the exact same story. You'll know who they are very soon. Very, very soon. But it's just gross.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem is that now I know too many of these things behind closed doors.
And it's turned you off. It's turned you off.
Put it this way, in the last 5 days, there have been probably 25 quarterbacks going in the transfer portal. I know where 14 of them are landing. And this is how confident of it I am. I will write them all down. Put it in an envelope that you hide. You put it anywhere in the studio. You put it in your house for all I care. And when the portal closes, I want you to open it and see how many of them I got right. Because I'll bet you I hit 90%.
Right.
I will guarantee you I hit 90%.
But how do you stop it? If that's the problem, if your problem is we got to stop the backdoor recruiting, what's the hamper on that?
William Workman hit it in our YouTube comments. The NCAA needs to go the way of MySpace and just go away. That's how. Because the biggest schools in this sport, and I'm telling you this is coming. I've heard Adam Gold talk about this, and I 75% agree with what he says. He starts getting into bigger things like, oh, the NCAA tournament's going to expand. No, it's not. Because I hate to tell you this. If you're a fan of a smaller school, they don't care about you at all. You are the minor leagues for them at best. And all of these big Power 5 schools are going to break away because they're going to get tired of this. It was one thing when they were robbing Incarnate Word and Houston Baptist at no. We got Power 5 schools robbing Power 5 schools now. There are Power 5 schools. I can list you probably 20 off the top of my head. You do not have a snowball's chance in Atlanta of competing ever again. Vanderbilt, no shot. Duke, no shot. The year you just had, this is the best it's going to be. You might catch lightning in a bottle one time and go 10-2. You're not a playoff contender in any shape, form, or fashion.
Yep.
And you think it's bad now? It's going to get worse. Because some of the numbers I've heard are dumbfounding.
Once the door opened, of course this was where this was going.
Yeah,
it just
a
became
wise, mulleted individual told you this. As all of you were clamoring for it, the day that Supreme Court ruling came down, I said, "What? Do you remember what my exact words were?"
No.
College athletics just died. It just died.
Yeah,
I
do remember you saying that.
As you know it died. And guess what? We're halfway home. We are halfway home.
Oh, yeah. College athletics, as you know it, died. But college athletics has not died.
Oh, no, the NCAA is dead. The NCAA at this point has been convicted. They're waiting on appeals, but the death penalty is being carried out here just any day.
Yes, the National Association is dead, but college athletics itself will go on. These colleges,
I didn't say it was going to stop.
Right. These colleges will find a way forward.
How many schools in America right now matter?
Maybe 30. Maybe.
You're at least double too high. You are at least double too high. Because the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Notre Dames, Florida State, Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, those are just off the top of my head, and I know I missed a couple. You ain't got money like them.
No.
They're going to obliterate you. Because not only do they have money, they have tradition, they have power, they have influence. Now take the list of teams I just said. Who'd I miss? I did this on purpose.
Okay.
Who'd I miss?
I don't know. Who'd you miss?
I mean, I can't think of one. I was hoping that I would reel that off and you'd go, oh, you forgot blank, and I was going to laugh at you.
Oh, as to who's still relevant?
Yeah. Anybody that's not who I just said, and a handful of others that are in like another tier. William Workman said, Tennessee, I got news for you. You ain't got money anywhere near what it's going to take. Auburn, same thing. You two are riding together.
Never competitive again.
Depends on what you mean by competitive.
Never have a chance to win another title.
No, God, no.
Never.
No, God, no.
Interesting.
Not close. You might get lucky and find a coach that's really committed, went to Tennessee or went to Auburn or something like that you can keep around for a handful of years, gets a couple really high-level recruiting classes, really kills it with a couple lineage recruits in the transfer portal, and you can make the playoff and threaten.
Yep.
But in terms of year in, year out, none of this is changing.
No.
None of this is changing. And I got news for you. Over the course of time, that's going to affect people. Tennessee Volunteer fan really hates what I'm saying right now, but in the back of their head, they know I'm right. Just like Auburn did when I said it 4 solid years ago. Everybody talked about how that was an elite job. No, it's not. No, it's not, because you're from the top down, dysfunction. And you don't have money like them. So now you're just seeing it on a daily basis of these mediocre quarterbacks. MJ Walker was just the one I used. I had 7 more that I could have used. Mediocre quarterback, and guess what? He's going to go to a bigger school. You know why? Because they need a quarterback, and they know exactly what he is. And they look at him and go, well, he was a 58% completion guy at NC State, but he'll come in here and be 62 because we've got high-level talent. Patrick Holt said that State's already got over 10 players in the transfer portal. It's not even open yet. NC State, they fall into that same thing. North Carolina in football, you fall into the same thing. You don't have the money. South Carolina. I'll just keep naming schools that are close to where I'm sitting right now. Every team I just said, you have no shot at a national title. How long are you going to keep watching this to wind up in the Holiday Bowl?
How long have we been watching it?
A bunch of the teams I just said have either won national titles or been competitive for them in the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never do it again.
I just find that hard to believe because those players, right, the elite players, obviously going to go to the bigger schools, but they've always been doing that.
Not like this.
And they're going to filter down to the others.
Not like this. It's never been like this, and you would, honest to God, have to be the most delusional person I've ever met to believe that. The fifth-string quarterback right now at Ohio State is better than anything NC State has,
mm-hmm.
and will continue to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always been that way. We've had Heisman-level quarterbacks that played at smaller schools. You have that now, they're gone before the season's even over. And this is not going to be a blip. The MJ Walker thing, I promise you're going to see this a bunch of times, where a guy looks at the first 4 games of the season and goes, man, I've been really good. I'll bet you my agent's probably getting calls. And you make a call, and all of a sudden, poof, there they went. There they went. Brian Hall, who is our program director here at Howard,
mm-hmm.
the day the MJ Walker thing happened, I told him specifically, I've already heard that there's another team in the ACC that's already called him. It's the death of the sport. You can't survive this way unless you pull for Ohio State or any of these other super – I mean, I'm lucky. I pull for one of the creme de la creme. You do too with one of your schools.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's right on the periphery. By the way, good win last night. Y'all tried to give it up, but good win for the basketball team.
Oh, yeah. That first half
you were
was
up by
incredible.
30, and you won by 6.
Yeah, second half didn't go so great. But
or 7. It was something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Ayer says it's always been that way. No, it's not. Look, you're talking to a guy that I grew up in the mid-'90s of Florida State. There was nobody in the country that was more hammer-nail on the rest of college football than Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
There were still high-level elite players at other schools. I remember Thomas Jones beat us damn near by himself at Virginia. They didn't have anything else.
Yep.
They had nothing. Now that guy, he's the 4th-string running back at Florida State. I'm making more money to sit here and wait for my turn to get 1 year of a crack as the starter than running through 3 or 4 at Virginia. And give it time.
Mm-hmm.
It's exponentially worse right now than it was 3 years ago, and it's going to be exponentially worse 3 years from now. Because why would I do it? I'm looking at. I pulled up an article here.
Why would you sit for 3 years and wait for somebody to leave?
No. Why would I go play at Boise State? I'm looking at an article right now at potential recruiting flips,
mm-hmm.
guys that have been committed that could still go somewhere else. How many of them do you think committed to big schools and could flip to small ones? And by small ones, I mean not teams that are competitive for the playoff right now. It's 0, not nary a one of them.
Of course
not. But, man, there's a lot of kids that go to, let me just scroll through this, Boise State, South Carolina, Central Florida, West Virginia. And weird, all of their scholarship offers of where they could flip to are Ohio State, Florida, Miami, Florida again, Florida State again, USC, Michigan, USC.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the ones I was specifically talking about. It's going to get bad. As a matter of fact, I said that badly.
Bad.
It's already bad. It's already horrifically bad. And if you don't believe me, look at the top 10 in college football right now. Just look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Your Power 5. You know, we always had Power 5 schools, the Boise States, these smaller schools that could contend because they were undefeated. Highest rated Power 5 school in the nation right now is 24th in the country.
Mm-hmm. As it should have always been.
No, there was a time that they could compete. They could go into a bowl game that wasn't the playoff and punch you in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting worse every single year. Now all they catch is that Power 5 school catches a bowl game with a team that does not want to be there, like
right.
USC last year,
exactly.
and they punch them in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are going away too. That's the death of the sport. Because you got to look at the financials of this. Your Georgia Bulldogs, how many payment games do you play a year?
2?
3.
3. Okay.
Average year, you play 3.
Okay.
Those schools can't even get on a field with you anymore.
Nope.
5 years from now, those payment games are done.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do? Just takes that creme de la creme and pushes them just a little bit further away. Because now I don't get those layup wins anymore. You might if you're a trying to think of one off the top of my head. Georgia Tech. Yeah, Georgia Tech can still get Georgia Southern to come in there. But the problem is now Georgia Tech is closer to Georgia Southern than they are to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Keep telling me I'm crazy.
Okay.
You told me I was crazy 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have this same talk every single year.
Mm-hmm.
And I do it on purpose because I'm basically putting a pin in this of, you remember when I said this thing was going to be a great big escalator into hell?
Yep.
We're halfway home. We're halfway home. I also want you to remember what school I'm a booster for and how many people in that university do you think I talk to?
Right.
They're willing to buy their way out of the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't care. They don't care. What just happened to the Pac-12? I got news for you. It's going to happen to the ACC, and it's going to happen to the Big 12 too. And eventually you're going to have two super conferences that look around and go, why exactly do I need you again? We have everything of any value here.
Yep.
But,
and they break off and they do their own thing, and the others are left to scramble. But that's how it works, right?
Sir
that's
Timothy said same thing with the Gators. No, they're in the SEC. If you're in the SEC or the Big 12, or in the Big 10, you can survive.
Yeah.
Because there's so much money coming to that conference that it will keep you ahead of everybody else. Now, you might be 4-8, but you're still printing money. So you're still competitive on all these platforms. If you're in the Pac-12, if you're Oregon State right now, you might as well set the campus on fire because you have no shot. None.
Right.
You're a minor league filler system for Oregon at this point. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Especially now. Especially 100%. Now that you're not a part of the group.
But look at how many teams we've taken out of that pool in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that's going to keep continuing to happen?
Of course it will.
100% it will.
Of course it will.
You're at 10 schools that matter right now. Those 10 are probably safe.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that next 20, that's going to cut down to 10 in about 3 years.
All right. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. When we come back for the break, it'll be time for Jeremy to make his picks for the night. Green on Green is next.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
And the angel answered her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you. The power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be called Holy, the Son of God." Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all your friends at the Carpet Barn.
For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. His name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Deputy Chief Mike Lamb and the men and women of the Asheville Police Department.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning has extended their Black Friday sale. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. Plus, if you call and mention ESPN Asheville, you'll get a free hallway cleaning. Schedule today at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Cut. Let's try something fresh like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Are you sick and tired of living with that constant pain in your knees and back? Joint pain doesn't just keep you from doing what you love. It affects your job, your relationships, even simple things like getting dressed. It's time to call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses advanced regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged joint tissue, giving you your life back. Hips, shoulders, elbows, they can all be treated with natural biologics from your own body. Powerful healing agents, highly concentrated. If you're tired of steroid shots that don't work, or if you're trying to avoid surgery, call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation. Learn about these exciting new cutting-edge treatments for pain caused by arthritis or injury. No drugs, no pain meds, no downtime. This is an all-natural treatment that can get you lasting relief. People here are raving about the results. Call now. Appointments are available for this coming week. QC Kinetics. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Thursday night football. Hey, you remember that team from last week that got absolutely smoked on Thursday night football? Thanksgiving? Yeah, we get to do that again. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. Dallas Cowboys are a 9-point favorite at home against Seattle, over under 47.5. I'll start with the easy part of this. I don't love the number. I'm going to give it, not because I want to, but because I'm that confident that Dallas is going to win this game. 9 seems like a lot of points. That's usually reserved for bad teams playing good teams. But this is a team that might be bad playing a team that might be great. And I'm going to assume on a pretty short week, because it was Thanksgiving, you had all the things happening, I'm just going to take more talent, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys have. As for the over-under, since it's being played in Dallas, it's in a dome, no weather, I'm going over 47.5. I think Seattle will be able to move the ball. I don't know if it's enough to keep it within the 9, which is why I took Dallas, but I do think we're going over 47.5. So give me that, Dallas Cowboys -9, and enjoy Thursday night football. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy, and as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty good handle on the waves of rain coming through. Tomorrow's rain event won't be as big as the Saturday rain event. Either way, the rain is needed, so it's a good thing. Sunshine today as we wrap up the month at 57. There'll be some cloudy intervals at times. Thickening clouds tonight, milder upper 30s. Some scattered light rain tomorrow, breezy 55. And that rain will taper off tomorrow night before another round comes in Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. And a chance of showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
'Tis the season when you're in the mood for holiday music. Listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio.
97.7 The Brew is Asheville's Christmas station. Brought to you by Balkan Roofing and Ingles Markets.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man.
I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. TheSportsocracy.com is the website. You click on the live video link in the middle of the page. And once you're through to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, get in the chat. You got anything you want to talk about on a threadbare Thursday? Throw those into the chat. We'll get to those before the end of the program. Got a lot more football to talk about, obviously. We're going to talk some basketball here as well because it is, it's basketball season for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Anyway, still got a bowl game coming in football, but Jones, I feel like we should just focus on last night and not even worry about the football right now. Because the basketball team, I saw several comments last night on social media about how this was what Carolina basketball needs to look like in that first half.
Well, that was probably an extreme version of it because it was about as, Hubert Davis said he thought it was the best basketball he's seen Carolina play in his 12 years as an assistant or the head coach. And Carolina was incredibly efficient. They were pushing the pace. They were sharing the basketball. They were getting the ball into the paint and scoring from up close. They were drawing fouls, hitting their free throws. They were kicking it out for open threes. It was as quality an offensive first half, particularly when you consider the level of competition, Tank. Tennessee, a very good team, came into the game number one in the country in defensive efficiency. They were number one in the nation in defensive efficiency a year ago, so it's a team that knows how to play defense. And Carolina put up 61 points and shot 58% from the floor in that first half. So it was it's going to be hard to replicate that all the time, but if you do those types of things, if you have something that has the same core as what Carolina did in that first half, and then really the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the second half before Tennessee, as you knew it would, it's a terrific team, was able to make a big push and get the game down to as low as 6 at one point before the Tar Heels eventually win it by 8. If you could do some of those core things that Carolina was doing and do those pretty consistently, then it's an exciting prospect for this season. And Carolina's in the middle of a really, really hard 8-game stretch with the 3 games in the Bahamas and then that game last night against Tennessee, Saturday against Florida State, then UConn, then Kentucky, and then Oklahoma. So they're halfway through this really difficult stretch. They've done some good things. They're not a finished product, but, man, it sure feels good for the Heels to win a big game like they did last night and to look as quality a team as they did at times Wednesday night in the Smith Center.
Yeah, 100-92 the win over Tennessee. I did that. I had to do that superstitious fan thing, like I'm going in and out early in the game, and then I decided, okay, I'm gonna sit down and watch a good portion of the second half here. And as I sat down, we were up by 24, I think it was, and within a matter of minutes, it was down to 10. And I went, okay, I'm going to bed. I'm the bad luck charm. I got to turn this off. So, Tar Heel fans, you're welcome for that. I've tapped out, and we secured the win. So I feel like I did my part last night.
Appreciate you doing your part, Tank. Everybody's got a little hand in it, and and like I said, Tennessee's a really good team, and Dalton Connect is an incredible individual player. He scored 37. That tied the most ever by an individual opponent in the Smith Center. That tied Lionel Simmons, from LaSalle, 1988. So it's a record that's stood for a long time. And, if you're a Tar Heel fan, you can probably sit here and go, now, wait a second, how did this player or this player or this player? Because you always remember really good individual performances by the opponent, maybe not very fondly, but you remember them. And Connect probably breaks that record if he doesn't roll his ankle there with about 90 seconds to go. He would have had a chance to break that record. So he was terrific. I thought Tennessee played really well. There was one point Tennessee was shooting 60% from the floor, and they were down 20 points. It was just that kind of night offensively for Carolina through the first 25 minutes. Now, I think, Tank, one of the really exciting parts about that game is that you did show what you can be against a really good team. You got a really high-quality win that's going to travel for the entire season. And having said that, there is plenty that Carolina can get better at because there were some defensive things in the last 12 to 15 minutes. There were the offense bogged down some in the last few minutes when Carolina was trying to burn a little bit of clock, but you want to find that fine line of milking the clock some, but staying aggressive and keeping with what you had been doing to give yourself a sizable advantage. And so it was a good learning experience as well, and it's always better to learn after you win. And so Carolina was able to get the best of both worlds in this particular example, because they got a really high-quality win, and yet they know there's plenty that they can still work on.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, tough stretch for the basketball team that they're in the middle of still, but you got opening conference play this weekend. UConn, you mentioned, Kentucky, Oklahoma, those three all top 25 ranked teams right now as well. You come out of that stretch and you're going to have to, if you're still ranked, top 15 and you only got the one loss or maybe two losses, you're going to feel great going into conference play with that kind of record. And, it's always great to pick up a top 10 win, especially on a night where Duke loses. So we got that
Tank, yeah, I think part of the problem that Carolina had last season was that they really struggled during this time period, and it was just hard for them to ever get out of the hole that was dug with some of the results that they had in this time period, late November, early December, because even though it was still so early in the year, the ACC, just because of the way that net ranking is, and you and I talked about this some last season. Now, we could have a full conversation about whether the net is the best way to, evaluate teams and try to organize teams, et cetera. But the way that it is set up, once you get into conference play, it's just hard to make a lot of movement. You can move up a couple spots and down a couple spots, but you're not going to go dramatic. You're not going to move up 20 spots, more than likely, because these teams just play one another. And so it all just kind of melds together, and there's hard to have a lot of movement. Where the movement occurs and where you kind of set the bar is during this time of year, where you're playing teams from other conferences that they in turn will then play different opponents that can change things a little bit for them, which then changes things for you in the metric and blah, blah, blah. So for Carolina, having the difficult trip to Portland last year where it lost Iowa State and then lost that multi-overtime game to Alabama, then they had to immediately go on the road to Virginia Tech. Never even came home between the game to the trip to Portland and the game at Virginia Tech, at Indiana. Then came home for a day and then went to Virginia Tech. And so, that was a really hard stretch, and the Tar Heels didn't handle it very well. And it was difficult for them to get out of it. So for them now, and they're not done with this 8-game stretch, they're only halfway through it, but to have a quality win against Arkansas on a neutral floor, to have a quality win against a really good Tennessee team that barring, some kind of major injury bug to their team or something like that, they're going to be a top 15 or 20 team all season long, at worst, and maybe better. You have a win against a team in Northern Iowa that I think is going to be a solid win when it's all said and done, a team that is going to compete for the Missouri Valley Conference Championship this year, which is a good league. And you have opportunities coming up with Kentucky, UConn, and Oklahoma out of conference. So to be able to pocket some of these wins at this point of the year is really advantageous, I think, in the long run in the current setup of how things are, how the metric is used to seed and accept teams into the NCAA tournament.
Sometimes teams have those burn the tape games, and this is a bronze the tape game where Hubert will have this.
Or at least the first half. You can bronze that first half. Maybe the second half's a little bit of both.
Yeah, he'll have that tape on the ready to be able to show them what this team is capable of offensively when they can put it all together and share the basketball. Like the game plan says. And also it doesn't hurt for R.J. Davis, to just be hitting crazy ones off the backboard. And
to me, Tank, the thing that was so impressive was the pace. And that was something that Carolina had lost the last couple of years. I think when you think of Carolina basketball, particularly in the Roy Williams era, you think of the Tar Heels pushing the pace. And after missed baskets, after made baskets, after turnovers, whatever it might be, Carolina wanted to push the pace, to try and score quickly, to try and not allow the defense to get set, to try and get some easy transition baskets. And so Carolina had lost that, I thought, in the last couple of years, particularly last season. It just felt like it was such a plodding attack for Carolina. Nothing happened very quickly, and without 8 different hand signals and all these different things that had to happen. And while it is not one individual person that has changed that, I think Elliot Cadeau has been a big part of that, and you saw that in the first half, in particular yesterday. He was not one of the 3 guys that scored 20-plus points. R.J. Davis had 27, and Armando Bacot had 22, and Harrison Ingram had 20. Cormac Ryan had 15. Cadeau didn't even make a field goal. But I thought he was one of the more impactful players in that game because he really pushed that tempo, particularly in the first half for Carolina. And there were multiple times where just because he was pushing it, whether by dribble or pass, that his teammate, and a lot of times it was Bacot, was getting easy looks. Bacot had a dunk in transition. There were several times where he got an early seal because talking about Bacot, was running hard and sealed his defender right underneath the rim, and Cadeau got him the basketball. And he either scored and got fouled or one or the other, either scored and got fouled, or just got fouled and got to the free throw line. And so to be able to push the pace that way and have someone who is always thinking about that, it's easier for your teammates to run when you know the guy who is going to have the ball in his hands is looking for you. And I think that prompts you to want to run a little bit more. All of that builds on itself, and that's how you end up with quality pace. And so, again, Cadeau's just a freshman. He's not going to have 10 assists and no turnovers every game. I mean, last 4 games, he's at 21 assists and 1 turnover. It's an incredible stretch. There's going to be games still to come where he makes some mistakes because he's young. But I think just having a guy who is looking to facilitate on the run and is good at it, I think can really help Carolina offensively as it moves through the year.
It is something that we have been missing on the Tar Heel team from time to time over the years, is that dare I say, the quarterback, right? You need the quarterback to be able to distribute the ball and make the system work, and hopefully that will continue for the Tar Heels. All right, speaking of quarterbacks, so there's a lot going on in the transfer portal realm and all of that. We had it's come out that Max Johnson, the son of Brad Johnson, hails from right here in Black Mountain, former Super Bowl champion, obviously, but his son Max is going to be coming to Carolina next year, with everybody looking at obviously the draft possibilities for Drake May. And we wanted to be talking at this moment about an appearance in the ACC championship game at the beginning of the season. But here we are wondering what bowl we'll go to and who we can keep in the transfer portal.
Yeah, a couple things. One, I just want to say one more thing about basketball, and then I'll get to your football topic. I think the very best teams at to me, when you think of Carolina, you think of a couple things. One, Michael Jordan and Dean Smith and Roy Williams. But then you think point guards and big guys, right? And that's not to say that there haven't been great wing players. You and I could both rip off a ton of them, including the best player that's ever played the game. So that's not what I'm not suggesting that Carolina hasn't had great players at that spot. But to me, when you think of Carolina, you immediately think of point guards and big guys. And so the best teams that the Tar Heels have had a guy that can manage the floor the way that Cadeau did last night. And again, he is a freshman, and there are going to be mistakes. And what I'm about to say is not anything negative about Caleb Love and R.J. Davis. But both of those guys over the last couple of years, their games were very similar, even though they are different size players. They were scoring guards. They were volume shooters. And so when you've got 2 of those type of guys, it's hard to have somebody who is willing to take a step back and facilitate and be somebody to step away from the game that they're comfortable with. And so with Carolina having now Cadeau, who I think is more confident and comfortable in doing that, I think is a big plus for them. And again, you think of some of Carolina's very best teams. You think of Ty Lawson, you think of Kendall Marshall, you think of Marcus Page. Then this is just recently. I mean, you can sit there and go, you talk Phil Ford, you talk Jimmy Black, you talk Ed Cota, Kenny Smith. I mean, we can go down the line here. Those are the players that I think really make Carolina go, and so it'll be interesting to see if that continues to develop. Now, to your point about football, Carolina was miserable in the first half. Miserable in the first half against NC State last Saturday. Nothing Carolina did looked good. And some of that is to credit NC State. Their defense is excellent. We knew it was. They're playing very well right now, and they look like the more confident, excited team. They look like the more prepared team, and they played a whole lot better than the Tar Heels did in that first half. And then by the time Carolina woke up, it was too late. They were too far down to really make a serious challenge at the game from that point moving forward. And so for Carolina, I think there's some short-term and some long-term questions. I mean, short-term, when you're just thinking about the bowl, at first, who's going to be available on the roster? And that's a challenge for every team in the country right now. That's not just Carolina. It's who's going pro, who's going in the portal, who is going to be available for you. Then you're thinking, got to get these freshmen in, guys who are enrolling early, get them in and ready to go. You're trying to get players from the portal and for next season. And so all of that's happening too. And then if you're Carolina specifically, you've got to look and say, hey, why has this happened 2 years in a row? Why has Carolina had, why were we 9-1 last year and finished 9-5? And ranked 11 in the country at one point? Why were we 6-0 this year and ranked 10 in the country and then go 2-4 in our last six games? With two of those games certainly being against teams and two of those losses certainly being against teams that you were clearly better than. Why did that happen 2 years in a row? And so I think that's got to be a holistic look at the program and why that happened. And particularly on the defensive side, why did the progress that you made in the first half of the year, why did that slowly melt away? Why did that get eroded as the year went on to the point where NC State, a team who is not very good statistically throughout the entire season offensively, scores on its first 8 possessions and puts up more than 500 yards? That's something that's got to get answered for Carolina as it moves forward long term.
Mm-hmm. There are big decisions to be made for that program and the future of it, and the transfer portal is. I don't feel envious of anybody who has to make these decisions. I'll just put it that way. Decisions that have to be made of putting this program on the right path, but still trying to compete already in this early transfer window.
Yeah, and it's a really hard time of year for coaches, and I know Crimea River, right? I mean, they're getting paid really well. We all understand that, but it is a hard time of year where you're trying to manage your roster. You're trying to bring in a freshman class that you've recruited, because that first signing day now is in December. A lot of those guys it is becoming in vogue, and it's beneficial to arrive in January. So a semester early and graduate early from high school. So you're trying to manage all that. You got guys going in the portal. You got to look in the portal to find guys. I mean, it is a hard time to manage your roster. Plus, you're still dealing with that extra COVID season that players have for one more year, or one more class of guys who are going to be senior, or who are seniors right now, who still have that extra year. So there's just a lot to deal with as far as managing your roster right now. And let's be honest, I mean, the chances that Drake May is going to play again for the Tar Heels aren't real high. Obviously next season I would say they're very low, and they're probably pretty low that he'll play in the bowl game. When you are going to, and I don't know that for a fact, that's my opinion, just looking at all the context clues here, if you're going to be a top 2 or 3 pick in the NFL draft, and your bowl game is not a playoff game, then as we have seen, and as Carolina got a front row seat during the Orange Bowl in 2020, a lot of times now these guys don't play, and that's not what fans like or whatever, but it's just a reality of the situation and the current state of college football. And so you've got to figure out how to best use this time period as well to be as beneficial as possible. Because honestly, Tank, at this point, I mean, do you want to win your bowl game? Of course you do. Of course you want to end the year with a win. For Carolina, I think it's important to show that, you know, you've righted the ship a little bit. But in reality, those bowl games are becoming more of an exhibition that shows you what next year might look like, compared to some kind of grand finale to this year.
It's like the pre-spring game.
Yeah, because so many guys don't play. It's like a spring scrimmage that has a little bit more on the line. And so that's just the reality of the situation. Again, don't love it, but that's kind of what it is now with college athletics.
Yep. Well, when we touch base with you next week, I guess we'll be talking about, we'll know which bowl the Tar Heels are going to. Yep. Plus, hopefully we'll be talking about a couple of wins over the Florida State Seminoles and number 4 UConn. Both those games coming your way on the Tar Heel Radio Network, and you'll hear it all right here on ESPN Asheville. Jones, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Thanks, Tate. Looking forward to it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
The Ingles Advantage isn't just about savings or the best quality food for your family. It's more than that. It's the advantage of being a part of a community. That's why we provide over 2 million pounds of food every year through regular donations and programs like the Ingles Giving Tree, Food for Thought, and the Ingles Fill a Backpack program. It's the right thing to do, and we know that you would do the same. Ingles, your neighbor for over 50 years.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about the perfect holiday gifts, just $25 and under, like matching family PJs, fragrance sets, toys, and more. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Hi, this is Shauna. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your Chick-fil-A Merriman Avenue. Give us a call or go online to order your nugget trays and other party platters for your holiday gatherings and parties. Merry Christmas.
Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. This is Caroline Taylor, Market President of iHeartMedia, wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor, while others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been going to Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt for years. They're fantastic, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check out some of these 5-star reviews from Google. After searching for a dentist for months, I finally found this place. I needed some serious dental work, and they got me in within a week. If you're anxious about going to the dentist, I assure you this is the place that can give you a new outlook on having dental work done. They're upfront, honest, and caring people who only want the best for their patients. You gotta check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the Comfort Menu.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, And there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. You never know what kind of questions are going to come up in the YouTube chat. You need to be following us on all the social medias and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I'll put it this way. There were a couple comments and questions during your chat with Jones Angel that were good enough for me to ask the entire house, do you or do you not smoke crimes?
No, we're not cops.
I have a weird feeling that percentage is going to be over 50 on the yes.
All right, let's get weird. This is weird to me, Jeremy. I've never heard of this. You're the gambling guy, so you probably know what this is. But
if it has to do with gambling, there's a great chance that I know what it is.
I've never heard of this before. The bad beat pot?
Yes.
Is that a thing? Like, does everybody have that? Because I've never heard of that.
Not everybody has that, no.
The Rivers Casino up in Pittsburgh has the bad beat jackpot, which if you've got a killer hand and you're playing poker and you lose, there's a pot of money that everybody gets to split that's at the table. It happened the other night where a dude had 4 aces in his hand and lost to a royal flush. How in the I have played a lot of poker. Now, obviously, I'm not the grinded out, 19 hours a day at a table kind of a guy.
And neither am I. Here's the thing. When you play poker with me, there's 2 possible scenarios. I'm either going to run you out fast or you're going to run me out fast.
Yeah.
Because I am not patient enough for that.
Right. As I think the only time I ever played poker with you, it was one and done. You were in and out.
I am super aggressive on a poker table.
Yeah.
In the hopes that I can cull the weak fish.
But yeah, anyway, so this guy had 4 aces in his hand, lost to a royal flush, and they have the bad beat jackpot that if you have 4 of a kind that's 10 or higher and you still lose your hand, then you get to split the bad beat pot, not only amongst you and the guy that or gal that you lost to, but everybody else that's sitting at your table gets to share in this as well. So the guy who had the 4 aces, he ended up getting $271,000 out of the pot because the guy who won the hand gets the bigger share. It was a $900,000 pot. So the guy who won took $362,000. Everybody else at the table who wasn't even in on the hand at that point got $45,000. I want to be there for that. I mean, that's free money.
That was actually, and I've heard of what you were just talking about. That's not what I thought you were getting ready to ask me.
Yeah.
There have been over my time, and this was way more common with before DraftKings really took over the world. There were bookies that would do a bad beat pot of if, and I don't remember all of the stipulations, but if you were covering for more than 45 minutes of the first 58 of a game and then got beat, there would be a pool that some of the winnings went into, or some of your losings would go into, and then there would be a way that they played that out at the end.
Okay. All right.
Now, DraftKings does not have to do that, but they will refund your money if things go horror awful. Aaron Rodgers goes down 4 plays into a game, and you know what? We credited that back because you're just going to turn around and bet it on something else stupid.
Exactly.
Because we got $1 bajillion, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Tank, you're a cheatman. Have you ever been at a restaurant, you ordered food, and it wasn't exactly what you were hoping it would be?
I have.
What is your go-to in that scenario?
I mean, depending on how bad it is.
This is pretty bad.
If it's just off, like I ordered the baked potato and you brought me a sweet potato, I'll just eat it and move on. I wouldn't even say anything.
You bring me a sweet potato, you're going to be lucky if it doesn't end up in your keister because sweet potatoes are gross.
No.
They're gross.
I love a sweet potato.
Gross. Anyway, my story is about a woman in Westchester County in New York.
Okay.
She was eating at what is allegedly a chain restaurant. I've never heard of this chain. Chopped, C-H-O-P-T. She ordered salad, as you do. Well, apparently earlier in the day, one of the managers at this here Chopped was cutting arugula. And as he was cutting arugula, he cut off part of his finger. And nobody felt the urge to pull that arugula out of the line. Oh, no, this gets so much worse.
No.
Oh, yeah, this gets way worse. So apparently, later in the dinner service, the manager went directly to the hospital. And it says that the employees were alerted, but that no one did anything about it. I don't know if that's from the suit or if that is from actual facts. I don't know. Woman gets her salad, bites into the salad, and she bit into Mr. Manager's finger. I would fight you like a grown man. That's just how that's going to go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But this woman, she called the health department, as you do, and they issued a ticket to the restaurant for violating state rules aimed at preventing imminent health hazards. Restaurant didn't contest, and they shouldn't. But then, okay, she did that thing that really irritates me that we do in the world now.
What's that?
She sued the restaurant.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like you could have just said, hey, okay, this is bad. You need to give me some monies. And they would have gone, you're right. You ate Dale's finger. We'll give here's $25,000. Shut up and go away.
It's not enough.
Well, you're not going to get more than that.
I don't know. From what people are getting out of lawsuits these days, I get a good enough lawyer, I don't know what I'm getting.
Yeah, from McDonald's. That's a big old corporation. This is a chain, and I did the little bunny ears around it. I've traveled all around this country. I've never heard of this place until 28 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting more than that. Just straight up, you're not. They also didn't harm you in any way. But the thing that really bothers me is what she is suing for. She says the restaurant was reckless, careless, negligent. I don't disagree with any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But in the suit, she's alleging traumatic stress.
Mm-hmm.
Traumatic stress?
100%.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you should be allowed to sue people because they made you throw up, but, okay. All right, I'll even give you that one. It's the other two that bother me in her serious personal injuries. Shoulder pain. You want to explain that one to me? Because I'd love to hear it.
From the dry heaving.
Did I so aggressively?
I pulled too hard. It just that was that arch in your back, kind of just like, it hurt my shoulder.
Like most people when they drink tequila with my wife, just oh boy. And cognitive impairment.
Cognitive impairment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I had a piece of somebody else's finger in my mouth at some point, I mean, maybe I would have banged my head on a wall so many times that I caused myself a concussion. I don't know. I'm not sure what the cognitive impairment could be there. I don't know. But I'm 100% suing for whatever I can.
You accidentally bit on somebody's finger, and now you can't tie your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think you went a little far on that. Yeah. And this is why I feel like I should be Judge Jeremy Greene. I think we should start our own show for things like this.
Right.
Because if you just came in and said, all right, I ate the finger. I got that, and you deserve to be compensated for that. I don't disagree. You lost me on cognitive impairment.
Yes.
I would read that and immediately just go, nope, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Stop lying to me. It makes me angry.
David Beckerman is correct in the YouTube comments. That restaurant is going out of business.
Oh, no doubt.
They will
that
go
chain
down.
now has one less location. Because there's certain things, like if you own a bar and somebody gets shot outside your bar, you should just burn the bar down because you're done. You're the bang bang bar now. You don't want to be the bang bang bar. Bad call.
Right.
If you serve somebody a body part, that's what you do.
Right, you're done.
You ever heard the term? You build 1,000 bridges?
Although,
Bridge builder.
how many times has KFC done this, right? KFC's done this a bunch. They've served people nails. They've served people rats. They've served people fingers and hands and feet and all kinds of things. Like, you've gotten whatever from KFC.
Here's the thing. McDonald's once a year serves me chicken hooves and horse beaks, and I eat it happily. They press it into the form of a McRib, and they put barbecue sauce on it, and it's awesome.
That's Soylent Green. You just don't even know it. You're just eating it.
Look, all right, and you know what? Maybe I'm going at this the wrong way. Maybe it's the comedian in me. I don't know. But I've seen some of y'all's OnlyFans, and don't act like this is the grossest thing you do. Like, okay, you ate a finger. I get it. All right. Don't make me go to Google.
Chopped.
Don't make me go to Google.
Man, they are a pretty sizable chain. All over the eastern seaboard. We've only got a couple of them here in North Carolina, though. Looks like there's one in Charlotte. There's a few in the middle of the state, and there's one out in Wilmington. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about this locally. It also makes me wonder what that sensation was like. And you had to have had just a regular green salad with no meat in it, right? Because if you had some bacon bits, like if you had bacon bits in your salad, or you got it with, like, they have some with like chopped up chicken or whatever, like you're just chewing away, and then all of a sudden you hit one piece that's the texture's a little off and the taste is a little weird, and you're just just keep chewing.
I didn't cook that bacon long enough.
Right, that was weird. What was that? Strange.
I mean, you said it didn't have meat in it. It had a little meat in it.
It did.
It had a little Bill meat. Bill's digit
That's
meat.
right. Bill, stop. We don't want your meat.
By the way, I said as a comedian, I have to say this. I hinted at this yesterday. Can I just say again, that Matt Rife stand-up is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I came this close to watching it last night.
It's the worst stand-up act I've ever seen. I tried to watch again last night. Amy fell asleep, and I went, you know what? I like this kid. I think this kid's really funny. And so now I'm going to take away the trying to have a night, sitting here watching some stand-up with my wife. She's asleep. Now I'm going to look at it from a comedian. And I hated it worse the second time.
Wow.
It was so hacky. Like, bro, you're better than this. You're telling jokes that dudes open for me would tell.
Is he, though? Is he better than that?
Oh, no,
or is he just an improv guy? Because some guys do that. Some guys do that. Some guys do improv really well. Other guys do the setup stuff really well.
And then, after I turned that off, because I didn't make it all the way at the end, I had to turn on Joey Diaz for somebody that. Now that's a dude that's offensive, and he could craft a joke. He also spent 30 years making Charlie Sheen look like Mother Teresa. So, dude's got a tale or two to tell. Do you know who that is?
No.
Joey Diaz?
No clue.
Oh, you should go at home, not on an iHeart computer, because that's Elemento fired immediately.
Joey Diaz.
He's buddies with like Rogan and a few of the other big guys.
I'm sure I've probably seen his face.
60. He's probably 60 years old now. And he's got a real gruff voice like this, and he says every bad word about every fourth word.
Nice.
One of my favorite stories of his, he actually kidnapped a guy. In 1983, he got high on crimes and kidnapped a guy. And when I say kidnapped a guy, I mean put him in the trunk of his car and left him in the desert and forgot he was there.
Holy smokes.
And then he friended that guy on Facebook 25 years later and had him on the Joey Diaz podcast. That was when I went, that dude is my kind of people.
Wow.
He friended a guy on Facebook that he legally kidnapped. And his defense...
You don't ever legally kidnap anyone.
His defense was, I didn't know that kidnapping was like not with a gun, and I had a machine gun, but I didn't use it.
No, I just forced a guy into my trunk and drove him out to the desert. That was all good,
right?
right?
I put him in the trunk. I thought we were just doing it for gigs. That was
Joke's on you, April Fools.
Poops and giggles. Hey, you're in the trunk.
It's the Sportsocracy.
By the way, that's something I would have done in college.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy drank 14 domestic lights and then got somebody to drive his car to the train tracks with Bill in the trunk.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM. 880 a.m. and 1400. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue with a Threadbare Thursday. Got a little chat about what to expect this weekend, who's making it to the college football playoff. We'll touch on that next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty good handle on the waves of rain coming through. Tomorrow's rain event won't be as big as the Saturday rain event. Either way, the rain is needed, so it's a good thing. Sunshine today as we wrap up the month at 57. There'll be some cloudy intervals at times. Thickening clouds tonight, milder upper 30s. Some scattered light rain tomorrow, breezy 55. And that rain will taper off tomorrow night before another round comes in Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. And a chance of showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hey, I came as fast as I could. What's wrong?
Everything's okay. I just need you to know I'm glowing up.
You just texted SOS Get Here Now.
And I stand by that because I switched to Cricket and got the all-new Motorola Razr. I have entered my flip era, and I am glowing up.
I'm gonna go back home.
I support that.
Switch to Cricket and get the all-new Motorola Razr for $199.99. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Must open a new line on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. Not cousin, Elliot Spencer asked in the YouTube comments about the Heisman race right now. What is the latest on that? Because I feel like there's this giant swell of fans who believe that Jaden Daniels should win it.
He's 2. He's plus 150.
Who's the favorite?
Bo Nix by a billion D.
Yeah.
He's minus 190.
Yeah.
Nobody else is. Michael Penix is third at plus 1,600.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to bet, I will say it'll be Nix, Daniels, Penix Jr. at the Heisman ceremony. You might get Ollie Gordon there just because he in terms of numbers.
Oh, the OK State running back?
Oh, good Lord. His numbers are insane. Other than that, maybe they put Marvin Harrison Jr. on the he has no shot.
Just to have the face there.
He's plus 20,000. He has no shot to win this.
Right.
I can't believe it's going to be anybody but Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I can physically not believe it. Unless he just goes super grumper against Washington. And you got so many ballots in at this point that I'm not sure that would even do it.
Yeah, I don't know that it would matter. I know that is a point of contention for some. I've seen several Heisman voters on social media trying to convince all of the other voters, keep your votes in until after the championship games. You know it's only a small window for you to get your votes in, but you're doing it wrong if you don't wait. Especially, I would think, this year. But there again, Jaden Daniels, if he's your guy, he's going to be your guy. And he can't prove anything.
If there's this is almost like election night when we're voting for the president. If you tell me how many ballots were already in, I could pretty well tell you who's going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's a lot, that really lends itself to Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that they didn't need to see anything else. Although maybe, and here's the other thing, maybe it's not a question of Jaden Daniels for the ones who haven't voted yet. They're waiting to see who wins the Pac-12 championship game, or whether they're going to vote for Michael Penix Jr. or whether they'll vote for Bo Nix. Maybe it comes down to that for them. I don't know. Bo Nix. Did you ever think you'd be there? Did you ever think we'd be sitting here talking about Bo Nix, the eventual Heisman Trophy winner?
No, I was thinking that when we unveiled the playoff rankings, and they interviewed Bo Nix, and I'm just sitting here going, I would have bet my ability to have fun for the rest of my life that we would never get to this point.
Right, where Bo Nix would be the biggest star in college football.
I also love how many people ask me if he's going to be an NFL quarterback.
No.
Good
God, no.
Him and Michael Penix, I don't see it with either one of them.
Really?
Penix just has such an elongated delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jaden Daniels, on the other hand, I'm coming around to that quickly, and I'm not the only one. I saw a mock draft, let's see, what is it, Thursday. I guess that was Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
They had Jaden Daniels in the top 5.
Wow.
And I went, okay, that's smoking crimes. You really need me to not be a cop because you're out of your mind. But in the first round,
maybe. I would think that would be almost a shoo-in at this point, that he would be a first-round quarterback. Because there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to be looking for a quarterback, right?
The thing about
Jaden
Daniels is that he is so dependent on where he goes. Because there are some flaws in his game. He's got a good arm. If you remember, I loved this kid at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
I told you when he transferred to LSU, nobody's going to talk about this, but this kid is a dog.
Yep.
And then he's just got better and better and better and better. The other thing I think you have to be careful with is that this was not a great year for the SEC, especially defensively. And he had Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors. Okay, so this is one of those times you got to be real careful. You got to kind of multiply everything you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I still like him. I Notorious B.I.G. said he's the best quarterback in this draft. I can't quite get there, but I will say this. He might be the safest quarterback in the draft. If you told me 3 go in the first round, and it's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and 2 of them are just historic busts, I'd bet a considerable amount of money that Jaden Daniels was the one that wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's safe to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he can be great.
I'd kind of like for my team to get there. Maybe not if we're drafting in the top, 7, but
well, hey, look, by the time I come back from Mobile and we really start sinking into draft things, by the way, 3-round team mock drafts are finally starting to come out tomorrow. And the goal is to have all of those out over the next 2 weeks. It's the end of the fiscal year. I do all the business stuff here, and there's a whole mess of things to tie up, so I don't get I don't like the government. And I don't want to talk to the government. They don't have anything that I need. I don't have anything that they want.
Dotting I's and crossing T's is never fun. But the draft content will be coming your way from @ESPN Draft Nerd. Jeremy Greene.
This is going to be a good year. Oh, God, I can't wait. This is the first year I can just genuinely say I'm ready for the football season to be over. I'm ready to get to February so we can start talking about draft nights, free agency, and trades, and things that don't make me sad.
Well, that run-up is going to start much sooner than that, right? Because, hell, as we get closer and closer, we got more and more teams that have nothing to play for the rest of the year.
Well, the thing that's going to be hard is, and somebody asked in the YouTube comments if we're going to do live streams for the playoff games this year. The problem is that I've been literally invited to every single pre-draft everything that I don't know when I'm going to be here. I just have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to commit to things at this point.
Yes. Indeed. But if we can, we will. Because we always have fun doing that, bringing you the live streams of the games here in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Jeremy's got another set of bangers for you next. It's the parlay of the night.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Don't let unused insurance dollars go to waste. Most insurance plans cover 2 dental cleanings and exams each year before expiring on January 1st. Maximize the dental insurance benefits you're already paying for and schedule your exam today with Asheville Smiles. Dr. Merrill's mission is world-class dental through technology and research. You'll get the most advanced treatment with the comforts of home. Schedule your exam now before the end of the year rush. AshevilleSmiles.com. That's AshevilleSmiles.com.
Cut. Let's try something fresh like the new scratch-offs.
I got it. Tuesday. It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday.
Cut.
It's not Monday,
Aren't you a little old to be in a boy band?
There's nothing old about getting new tickets.
Well, you're right. Maybe we stick with the original track.
New tickets every first Tuesday of the month from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Hey, I came as fast as I could. What's wrong?
Everything's okay. I just need you to know I'm glowing up.
You just texted SOS Get Here Now.
And I stand by that because I switched to Cricket and got the all-new Motorola Razr. I have entered my flip era, and I am glowing up.
I'm gonna go back home.
I support that.
Switch to Cricket and get the all-new Motorola Razr for $199.99. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Must open a new line on a $60 a month voice plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
This is going could be one of the weirdest parlays you've ever heard, because in the first hour I gave you Dallas Cowboys minus the 9, but I'm not so confident about that I have to throw it in a parlay. So I'm going Dallas Cowboys money line because I am sure that they're going to win. I'll also take over the 47.5. Now, for the weird part, I'm going over 83.5 receiving yards for CeeDee Lamb, and I'm going over 58.5 receiving yards for DK Metcalf. That's not all that strange. It is strange when you realize that the other two legs of this, I'm going under 282.5 passing yards for Dak Prescott and under 230.5 for Geno Smith. I don't like the ancillary pieces in this game, but I think DK Metcalf and CeeDee Lamb are going to get whatever they want. You take those wagers to betus.com, you put 5 on a same-game parlay, and it pays at plus 9,000, which means your 5 U.S. doll hairs turn into 455 if I'm right. Take those wagers to betus.com, use the promo code Sportsocracy, get a 125% deposit match on your initial investment, and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty good handle on the waves of rain coming through. Tomorrow's rain event won't be as big as the Saturday rain event. Either way, the rain is needed, so it's a good thing. Sunshine today as we wrap up the month at 57. There'll be some cloudy intervals at times. Thickening clouds tonight, milder upper 30s. Some scattered light rain tomorrow, breezy 55. And that rain will taper off tomorrow night before another round comes in Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. And a chance of showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
'Tis the season when you're in the mood for holiday music. Listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio.
97.7 The Brew is Asheville's Christmas station. Brought to you by Balkan Roofing and Ingles Markets.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, the Sportsocracy. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chats. A Threadbare Thursday. Still get to your questions, comments, and all of that before the end of the hour, at least all of them that we can get to physically over the next hour here. It's the third hour of the program, which the third hour is usually set aside for, the daily draft. And Stephen Towle had a great suggestion earlier in the show for today's daily draft that, of course, we're going to pick it up and run with it because that's what we do. That's why we call ourselves the Democratic Republic of Sports. So the idea was best backup quarterback in the NFL. So this is what currently available to teams?
Currently a backup quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
And New England, all of their quarterbacks are off the board because we don't know who's playing. I assume it's Bailey Zapp.
Okay.
And Malik Cunningham's going to be the two.
Okay.
And Mac Jones will be inactive.
All right.
I mean, not that any of us would have taken any of those guys anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, Mac Jones, does he get to top 10 of the best backups in the league?
I'm going to go with no, Bob.
All right, so you got the first pick. So
you know who I'm taking.
Sam Darnold.
That's correct. That's correct. You should have known that. There's only a handful of guys that are former top 5 picks, and only one of them that never got a shot to be good. And that is Samuel Ebenezer Darnold the fourth.
That's not his real name.
Tank, the fact we've been doing this together for 6 years, and you still have to go, that's not his real name. I've never Googled one of these ever. It's the first word that comes to my mind.
Just letting everybody know. So we don't get, it's not his real name. That's not it.
No, most of any of them that I use for the next month or so are going to be holiday themed.
Oh, awesome. Love it.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Indeed. All right.
Yeah, for me, if I had to win a game with any current backup quarterback, it would be Sam Darnold 1, and there's about 5 that I feel good about, and then my ability to feel good just greatly dwindles.
Right.
You get to Sean Clifford and feel like I ate that finger salad. Don't want to.
Yeah. All right, my first selection here, I will go with Ryan Tannehill. He's at least a guy that I've seen be an efficient quarterback in this league. And I think he could be he's still better than most of the backups that are out there. I would take Ryan Tannehill. If you showed me a or gave me a choice and said Sam Darnold or Ryan Tannehill, you have to win today. I'm taking Ryan Tannehill over Sam Darnold.
I would not.
And that's good because you took him first.
Yeah, because I don't. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't taking Ryan Tannehill second either.
Really?
No. I think he's spent. He's gotten old. He only fits in really one system. It's not great.
No, it's not great because he's a backup. He's reached that point where he is no longer a starter in this league. Next, I'll go with Jacoby Brissett. The guy who I thought might have one of the best chances to actually start games this year for his team. Not that I doubted Sam Howell, but I didn't expect it to go this well. I thought there would be some growing pains, that there would be moments where you went, I don't know, maybe we got to go back and forth. No, Sam's the guy, and that's great. If anything did happen to Sam, this team would have been fine, I believe, rolling Jacoby Brissett out there because he is one of the best backups in the league. He's the one that at the beginning of the season, I felt like he was the best backup in the league.
He's certainly up there. He's about as safe as it gets.
And that's what I want in my backup quarterback.
It's funny you said that way because my next two are pretty much the definition of safe. Andrew Elliott Dalton Jr. and Teddy Bridgewater. Those two are, I mean, they're not going to kill you. They're not going to win many games for you. They can. And after that, this falls off an absolute cliff.
They can win you games. Yeah.
They have in the past.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. They can win you games. I'm not wanting them for a long-term solution, 1 or 2 starts. They can win you games against bad teams, right? So I get it. That puts them above a lot of the others. Yeah, because now you kind of jump off a cliff where you got to.
Now beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, and I think at this point, like, I have to go Taylor Heineken. Was he not on your list?
He was on the list. He wasn't that high.
Really?
God, that means you're going to – I had 2 that were in a class. But they're lonesome. And that means I'm going to get at least one of them.
Really? Yeah. I'm probably going to leave you both of them because my next one's Jameis.
Jameis was also in that tier. But I also just realized that there were 3 in that tier, so you did leave me to it.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, look, these are just guys that I have seen come in and win games. They're different, right? Obviously, you got Taylor Heineken, who's been the guy who has come in for the Commanders, and been that guy who could just grind you out, win you games. I still don't understand the whole Atlanta thing where he's the backup and Desmond's now the starter.
Oh, you want me to try to explain it to you?
Yeah.
Arthur Smith is not a very bright man. I mean, look at his face.
That is a great explanation for it. Yeah, there's no doubt. He does have that face where if he was making financial decisions for me, I would have questions. I don't trust his face.
He also never looks like the same person.
Right. And then you got Jameis Winston, who we know the talent's there. He just, has the propensity to throw the ball away. A lot.
Well, I mean, he likes turnovers more than a fat kid at a Swedish bakery. So,
holding them off. Good for you.
Yeah. I woke up agitated. The day has done nothing to make it less, and here we are.
It was absolutely painful having him as my starting quarterback, but I would trade those days for anything today.
Generations in the YouTube comments said, either I misunderstood the question or y'all are disrespecting my Colts because of Minshew. Minshew is actively the starter.
Yes.
So the rules of this game were if the starter is hurt, you can't take the starter as a backup, and the backup becomes the starter. So it's however the depth chart is lined up right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Gardner Minshew would not qualify. If he was, then I would have taken him several selections ago. And I would definitely be taking him before both guys that I'm getting ready to take right here.
Okay.
Would you have had how many of the guys we just said would you have had Gardner Minshew ahead of?
If he were the backup? If he were the backup?
For me, it would have been all of them but Sam Darnold. He's the only one that I wouldn't add him in front of.
Yeah, probably. Probably so. I probably would have still had Tannehill ahead of him.
The 2 you left me that are, and one of them is, I really had to make sure I got the rules of this reiterated again.
Okay.
Because my first one is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Not
I
bad.
get that he was horrific with the Raiders. That was also with Josh McDaniels. I have low-key wondered if Aiden O'Connell is such a problem, which a lot of people keep telling me that he is. I don't see that when I watch tape, but all right, I'm playing devil's advocate here. If he was that big a problem, why have they not turned back to Jimmy Garoppolo yet? Because now you have a different play caller. It's not Josh McDaniels in his ear. He's not hurt. You're still paying him. Why have you not reverted back to that? Oh, because he's not better.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Stephen Tao that said yesterday, I hated Jimmy Garoppolo. I hate how much better looking than me he is. But in terms of hating him as a talent, not really. I think he's grossly overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I think he always has been grossly overrated.
Mm-hmm.
But he's fine. I mean, he can come in and win you a game, which is what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And the other one, which I can't believe you didn't take this guy, also re-referenced Stephen Tao of this, the only Pro Bowler on board, it's Tyler Huntley.
No. I mean, he's fine. Like, he came in and had a good game or two for the Baltimore Ravens last year. But no, he's not. He's not on my list because I don't know that he works for anybody other than his team. So he wouldn't be high on that list for me.
You don't think Tyler Huntley would work anywhere else?
I mean, I don't know.
Why?
I mean, is he not built for that scheme? Is that not why he's Lamar's backup, is because he does the same things?
No. I mean, he can run. He does not do it very often.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think he would be fine anywhere.
Okay.
He works – I mean, he does work better in Baltimore because he's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think he would work anywhere.
I mean, sure, and you give me the choice. Tyler Huntley, Baker Mayfield. Give me Tyler.
And by the way, is there a player that we've said yet that you would not start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over Baker Mayfield?
No, there is not.
I didn't think so, but I just wanted to be sure.
No, I don't have one of those. All right, last pick here.
Oh, we got to do an undrafted.
I guess I got 2 picks here.
Yeah. If for nothing else, just because I wanted to see who your next one was.
Who else I could pull out of my keister as I look down the death board that is backup quarterback in this league? Because I don't even know. I mean, Joe Falco. Let's go. Give me a Super Bowl champion. Somebody said earlier in the chat, I saw somebody said they beat the crap out of the Baltimore Ravens.
Isaiah Crandall said they're going to, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I'm not going to agree with you on that.
Oh, no.
However, I do like them better with Joe Flacco than I would have with P.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Joe Flacco lead one of the great comebacks in New York Jet history. It was also one of the great fall-aparts in Cleveland Brown history. And those two things should tell you everything you need to know about what happened in Cleveland that day.
And then UDFA, Carson Wentz.
Oh, God, I feel like I annihilated you in this. Then again, I always do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Cooper Rush. I mean, he has won games, and it allows me to go, mean,
that is probably the grossest draft we've ever done.
Oh, no doubt.
That is disgusting.
Hey, Shredbear Thursday, you picked this stuff.
Yeah.
Can't get mad at us. We didn't pick it. You picked it.
No, yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you. You want to play the game? We'll play the game.
I was completely ready to do Doritos flavors.
That could have been fun.
Might have to put a pin in that for one of those May weeks when I'm here.
Yeah. A little sweet chili lime.
Because I'm not sure if you figured this out by my hinting at it, but come the summer, Jeremy's going to make himself real scared. There will come a time that I'm here so little, you'll forget what I sound like.
Nice. The dog days.
8 weeks between June and July. Great chance I'm taking 5 of them. So
awesome. That should be fun. Riveting. Maybe we'll get Armchair in here to talk some baseball with me.
Well, I mean, unless you're going to fly me here from Canada, all of the electronics are mine, and you don't know how to use them.
You're going to have to teach me how to use them, or somebody. You have to figure that out. We got months. We got a couple of months. You can figure that out.
You could tell me I get until not the upcoming presidential election, not 24, not even 28. You could give me until 32. I'm not sure I could teach you how to turn most of this on.
Not that bad. Jeez. You're in the Sportsocracy.
You know what? I almost want to spin the camera around one day and just film this of how bad it could be.
The ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST. Visit boostinfinite.com or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
This holiday season, find all kinds of deals at Target. Discover sweet deals on toys and small appliances, big deals on clothing and beauty, plus so much more. At Target, get what you need for the holidays. Find new deals each week for everyone on your list and get it all fast with free drive up. Score low prizes and great deals all season long. Now at Target. Exclusions apply.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand, the best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
'Tis the season. When you're in the mood for holiday music, listen live with the iHeartRadio app and on your radio.
97.7 The Brew is Asheville's Christmas station, brought to you by Balkan Roofing and Ingles Markets.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It's ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Get in on the YouTube comments here. Got just a less than an hour to go in the program on a Threadbare Thursday. You got something you want talked about? You got questions that we can answer? Get them in. During that last segment, as we were talking about backup quarterbacks, Dylan Joyner asked if Gardner gets the Colts to the playoffs, will he have a starting job somewhere next year? And I believe the answer to that would be no.
I think the answer will be yes, regardless.
You think so? Somebody will look at him, my team might look at him.
Now, you do love retread quarterbacks. I feel like you've been doing that for, I don't know, how old am I? 36? Like 33 of the 36 years that I've been on this earth?
No. I mean, we've had to do that because the ones that we've drafted have turned out so horrible.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't draft quarterbacks.
The Josh Freeman experience. That was fun.
Speaking of teams that don't draft quarterbacks particularly well, or sign them in this instance, did you happen to see the Sports Illustrated article from Hondo S. Carpenter, which, by the way,
Hondo?
That is one of the great names I think I've ever heard in my life.
That's a new one.
If I start an OnlyFans, maybe I'll change my name to Carpenter Senior Hondo. Rearrange them. Anyway, it was a deep dive into how Dave Ziegler could have actually saved the Raiders. This feels like a hit piece on Josh McDaniels, but if all of this is true, and it very well may be, yeah, Josh McDaniels needs to go to the pit of misery immediately.
So what was he doing? I mean, other than the usual stories that we've heard about Josh McDaniels and his, way to treat players like they're children, basically.
Well, basically, this guy listed off all of the personnel decisions that were all Josh McDaniels, no Dave Ziegler.
Okay.
And the only thing I can figure is either Dave Ziegler told them this, or somebody in the organization told them this. And some of them are pretty innocuous. Jakob Johnson over Alec Ingold. I mean, I don't think your fullback's what killed you, but that is one that kind of told you where this was going to go. Because that was one of the first moves they made. And according to this, it was within a day of the introductory press conference that he had gone to Ziegler and said, yeah, I want you to go get Jakob Johnson. To which he responded, you do know you have a better fullback on the roster. Nope, don't care, my guy. And that seems to be a real consistent throughout the article. It's talking about at quarterback, what they could have done there. Because apparently Dave Ziegler wanted to trade up to get C.J. Stroud. Which, man, that's – I don't know that I've ever heard something that would have sounded so insane to me at the time that, good Lord, do you realize how good the Raiders would be right now with C.J. Stroud?
No doubt. With a better quarterback?
Now,
I'd feel much different about that team.
They still probably would make the playoffs because Josh McDaniels would have run them into the rocks. But as soon as Antonio Pierce took over, you'd have gone, good Lord, this team is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also talking about Jared Stidham and Jacoby Brissett, which apparently was the backup plan for Dave Ziegler, which was immediately shot down by Josh McDaniels so he could go get Jimmy Garoppolo. And the reason I wanted to point this out is I've heard a lot of, in the wake of Frank Reich being fired, a lot of things that basically have thrown dirt on the grave of a guy that's played 11 games. So allow me to just really re-emphasize. You don't know squat about Bryce Young at this point. You know absolutely nothing. Because I could probably, if you gave me the weekend to just talk to people I know within the Carolina Panthers, I'll bet you I could write the exact same article about them. Did you see the report that came out yesterday about David Tepper?
What part?
I'm going to have one of these just every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there was an offensive coordinator, and it did not specify when this was. So it was not necessarily Thomas Brown. It was not. This could have been a previous regime.
Could have been Joe Brady.
It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
Joe Brady actually makes a whole mess of sense. Apparently, Tepper saw a play that the Cleveland Browns had run and drew it out on, I think it said, I want to say it said a napkin, but maybe it was a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it to the offensive coordinator and said, I want you to run this on Sunday. Do you realize how lunatic what I just said is? I don't care if you brought it to him on Monday.
Right.
That's the most lunatic thing I think I've heard from an owner. I mean, I'm going back to the Al Davis days. That's insane. I want this in the game plan for Sunday. That's what Bryce Young is dealing with.
That's
so
crazy.
Before you, obviously C.J. Stroud was the better pick. Just remember there were people that thought Ryan Leaf was better than Peyton Manning for half a season.
Right.
And then it turned very vehemently.
Right.
And look, I'm not saying that C.J. Stroud's going to come off the rails, and I'm not saying Bryce Young is going to put it all together and all of a sudden this is going to be hunky-dunky. But one of the things that we started the show off with was a super chat from Soaring Eagle saying that the Bryce Young deal may go down as the worst in NFL history. We're way too young into this to know that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks horrific right now.
Yeah, it's terrible now. But I don't know. I mean, depending on what they do in the offseason, it may not take long next year for you to get right because we've got we always have a short leash on these guys.
I won't be shocked if he looks good this week. I know people in the fantasy industry that are playing him in DraftKings this week.
Really?
Against your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Really?
And I can't promise you that I'm not going to do the exact same. I mean, not in my biggest lineups, but throw $1 at it.
Might have one. It might have him here or there.
Give it an old throw a hundo at Bryce Young. I could see me doing that.
And maybe he does because I mean there were moments early on, second, third week of the season, where you're just. I mean, Bryce is in a position where you can see it, the defeat in his face because he's going nowhere. And he knows he has nowhere to go with the ball because he's got no weapons and he's got no protection. Some of those screen passes that they had him throwing week to week, you can probably pull 5 highlights every week, or I guess lowlights every week, of him throwing a screen pass and then immediately just going, what the hell did I just do? Why did we just do that? It's 3rd and 10, and I just threw it 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's stuff like that that tells the quarterback you don't have faith in him.
Well, and the reason I wanted to bring this up is that there are a lot of people that, and I've seen it just a lot this week, that think everything is in a vacuum. That every player that is drafted or every free agent that's signed or whatever the case may be, it's all in a vacuum. I want you to think about how bad the bad of this league is. And when you watch the Giants or the Patriots or whatever the case may be, that's how bad the on-field product is. There are franchises, Arizona, that they're that bad in the ownership group too. They're that bad in the front office. There's that much toxicity in the day-to-day operation of the franchise. And that's how you get things like Cliff Kingsbury and like Frank Reich and these things that are they're off the rails immediately. Not everything's in a vacuum. And all this hate that I've heard on and even it's not even just Bryce. I'm talking Jonathan Mingo. Look, that's a kid I loved. I'll go ahead and tell you, if I was in a position of power with the Carolina Panthers, that's exactly how I would have started this draft too. I told you that. The minute that trade happened, I'm on Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Bryce Young, and I was on Jonathan Mingo at the back end of the first, beginning of the second. But you do have to get the coach right. You obviously didn't. But that doesn't mean that both these guys are bums.
No, it doesn't. It means they were in a really bad situation.
I'm not sure anybody could have succeeded in this.
No.
That's been a consistent talking point all week of what would have happened if Carolina had traded up and taken C.J. Stroud and Houston would have taken Bryce Young. I'm not going to tell you they would be the exact reverse of each other, but I can tell you C.J. wouldn't look nearly as impressive, and we would probably be saying the exact same thing about him that we're saying about Bryce Young right now. And Bryce Young would look like a competent quarterback.
You can't expect a rookie quarterback to be able to come in, have the worst offensive line, and if not the worst, then it's at least bottom 4 in the league. And you can't expect a guy to be able to make solid throws, good decisions when he's got pressure like that in his face that he never faced before. I mean, he was playing behind, professional level offensive linemen when he was in college.
And now there's a possibility that he was propped up at Alabama and he's never going to look that good. He could be a quarterback that needs a lot of things around him.
But it's not fair to judge him on what he had this year.
It's not fair to judge any player inside 3 years of when they're drafted. It's just not. There's a reason that you don't ever see us put out draft grades, and when I say us, I mean the two of us, put out draft grades on any class that's younger than that.
Mm-hmm. Unless they're Mac Jones.
I mean, I could write a book about every player I've seen broken by different franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I could write a 50-chapter book on stories I've heard, things I personally witnessed of Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen is a great example. I didn't like him in the first place. But the reason I didn't like him was because he needed every advantage you could find. And I knew he wasn't going to last outside of the top 10. We went to an Arizona team that basically patted him on the head and wished him the best of luck. It was a super predictable end. I don't feel the same way about Bryce Young that I did there.
No.
I don't.
The problem the Carolina Panthers have, though, and I feel stronger in this than I have since 6 years ago. The problem you have, David Tepper's your owner. And he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
No, he has no – in terms of football, he has no clue. I love that he said, I'm a football guy. I've been around football my whole life. Doesn't mean you know squat.
Mm-hmm.
I know 70-year-old dudes that have watched this game since the dawn of time, and I've forgotten more about this game than they've ever known. Because you have absolutely no idea what you're watching. That's not a slight.
Right.
You don't know what you're talking about. A lot of us do.
Mm-hmm. William Workman in the YouTube comment says he trusts the U.S. government more than Tepper to own the Panthers and make them a good team. And you never trust the U.S. government not to fix anything.
You shouldn't trust any government. I don't care what country it is. Frankly, you should trust the U.S. government more than most, but that really speaks more on them.
Yes, it does. You're in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty good handle on the waves of rain coming through. Tomorrow's rain event won't be as big as the Saturday rain event. Either way, the rain is needed, so it's a good thing. Sunshine today as we wrap up the month at 57. There'll be some cloudy intervals at times. Thickening clouds tonight, milder upper 30s. Some scattered light rain tomorrow, breezy 55. And that rain will taper off tomorrow night before another round comes in Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. And a chance of showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks, giving you the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST, visit boostinfinite.com, or go to amazon.com and search for Boost iPhone 15. Boost.
Sarles Garage and Service is your one-stop car care, offering alignments, oil changes, brakes, North Carolina inspections. Call 926-0385 to schedule your appointment with excellent customer service to handle all your automotive needs. Enjoy a delicious meal while you wait at J Creek Cafe. Michael Sarles Marathon, your one-stop shop servicing Waynesville and Maggie Valley.
My doctor prescribed me Viagra. It wasn't covered by my insurance, so it was costing me like $65 a pill. That's expensive.
Over 20 million guys like us use Viagra. Over a certain age, we just need it. I found a way to pay less than $3 a pill and get virtually the same effect of the $65 pill. I heard an ad just like this on the radio, called, and for $99, I got 40 generic versions of the $65 pill. Save yourself money and call right now and get over 40 pills for $99. There's no embarrassment here to use Viagra. If we're over 50, we need it, but not at high prices. Call now with your credit card and get the 40 pill special for just $99.
Call 800-BUY-BLUE. 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 That's 800-BUY-BLUE. Paid for by Steel Man Pills.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Ingles Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in Western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingles locations, donate online or at the Ingles Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in Western North Carolina. Please help Ingles Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
It is that time on the Sportsocracy when every day we bring you the most important message you will hear.
Don't do crimes.
Let's go to Arizona for this one, and good night. There are some crimes that take place in our society where you go, you know what? There should be a special penalty for these people. We just put them somewhere, right? Somewhere out of the frame of reference. We never have to think of these people again because what they have done is so just abhorrent. And 46-year-old Randall Bird falls into this category as he was working at a Phoenix hospital, Banner University Medical Center, and he was a security guard at the hospital, and he was one of the few security guards that they put in charge of transporting dead bodies from the floors to the morgue. Well, something happened back on October the 22nd when he was transporting a body to the morgue, and then a couple of folks came down to enter said morgue, and the door was locked, which is weird. And then it was kind of dark inside, but there were lights on coming from the freezer. Well, they were able to get through the door, and then as they got to the cracked open freezer door, they saw the 46-year-old man who had taken a 79-year-old victim's body down there, and he was looking, we'll say, mussed. Clothes were all disheveled. His fly was open. you can take it from there. He was doing things with the dead bodies that he's not supposed to.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Here's the thing, though. First off, don't be just an absolute depraved person.
Well, I mean, you can be depraved. I'm depraved, but not like that.
Not like this. Not like this.
No, I'm weird. Like, if you could crack my brain open, you'd go, oh, my God.
I mean,
what is wrong with you?
I'm not going to assign gender, but whoever this 79-year-old person was, that was probably someone's grandparent. That's what I mean. There needs to be just a place where you can just go and we never have to think of him again or spend any money on him.
My story is from the state of Massachusetts, and it's about a woman named Julie Rabinowitz. She has been fighting a legal battle. Breach of contract with her ex-husband, Mark Schenkman, because he stopped making his monthly payments of just over $3,500 in August of 2015. That was to satiate their marital dissolution decree.
Okay.
Alimony, basically.
Yep.
What I didn't tell you is why he stopped making those payments. Because she masked herself and put on camouflage clothing, hid in Schenkman's minivan outside his dental office with a hatchet, a machete, a novelty baseball bat, and a pair of work gloves. She then apparently planned to ambush her husband, but their 9-year-old came out to the car first. She then chased them back into the office and allegedly told the child to move out of the way because I have to kill your father.
Oh,
she did 3 years in jail, or she did a year in jail, which, by the way, the fact she only did a year in jail is really proof positive of the failures of our judicial system.
First-time offender and all.
So this was in August of 2015. She got out in 2018. Well, in 2019, she sued her husband over his failure to make the monthly payments. A judge concluded that he was not obligated to pay because the wife's attempt to murder him constituted a violation of the covenant of good faith and fair dealing. She appealed this to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
What kind of liberal arts college confidence do you have to try to kill a guy and then fight him for alimony? I mean,
that's stones.
That is the most I went to Montreat College thing I've ever heard in my life. Get mad. I don't care. I don't know if you figured it out. I don't care.
Love it.
And Montreat's a great school. Played basketball there more than once. But that's where that's what that strikes me as.
Right.
I tried to kill you, but you still owe me alimony. Or, and this is just a thought, maybe you could get a damn job.
No way she got to keep custody.
No, but apparently that was her plan. I don't have like the nuts and bolts of her plan here, but there are a lot of things that I'm looking at here going, how did you think that was going to work? Well, I mean, you got into his van and you didn't break into it. So you had to have a key. There's probably not a lot of people that have that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the kids saw you and knew who you were, and you still did it. Stupid criminals.
Yeah.
And then to just go, nope, you still have to pay me. Nah, dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a no from me.
Well, I mean, that does speak to the system, though, right? I mean.
Oh, Dylan Graves said you said Warren Wilson wrong. And I'm not going to lie, I had both on the tip of my tongue, and I went,
No, it's not Warren Wilson, because at Warren Wilson you have to have some kind of community service level to your.
Oh yeah,
that woman, she's not serving anybody.
That was my thing. Is if she had burned down his pot farm, I would probably have gone Warren Wilson. How many people could I get in one day? There's not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's fine.
No, what are you, a cop?
It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's another part to the end of the story.
Oh, great.
And I love how the AP just threw this in as an aside.
Mm-hmm.
4 months before the attack, their house in North Attleboro was destroyed by a suspicious fire with him and the children inside.
Oh.
They got
how that
out,
happened.
obviously, But I feel like, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not real good on my lawyering. But if I was a practicing lawyer and individual, I would go, that feels like evidence. That feels like maybe you should have done more than a year in jail.
It depends on what you can prove, right? I guess that's what all criminals say.
This is probably a good time to announce that, since I mentioned that I would be gone so much over the summer, it's probably a good time to mention and announce that I will be doing a stand-up tour over the summer.
Excellent.
Yeah. I have titled it. Should I release the title?
I hope it's not the same one as it was the last three times you named it.
Listen, jackass. I forgot that I'd already done that. I did that one time with a kid, okay? Man, this name sounds really familiar. Yeah, because
you got one of those.
You got one of those. I'm not that stupid.
Okay.
That was with a previous woman. That was the name we had come up with. I was like, I love this name. And yeah, that was, you talk about a poopy Christmas.
Yeah, you should never let them find that out.
Yeah, she was there. That was a bad Christmas.
Wolf.
Yeah, so previously I had done, my last one was Dark Thoughts from My Safe Space. This one's going to be called You're from the Government and You Need My Help.
It's not a bad one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So you've workshopped that?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
You've been, hey. Never mind. You're never going to be as good as Matt Rife, okay? So it's just
not at interacting with people. Look, you start yelling random things out at my shows, I'll hurt your feelings like that, because I'm a mean one and I don't have much of a filter at all. Some of the most horrific things I've said in my life was directed at hecklers at comedy shows.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about college football, right? We were talking about the transfer portal and all the money being thrown into football and how all these teams are, the major schools are going to break away and all that. And the question was asked in the comments, and I don't remember who it was, so I apologize for not remembering who said this, but somebody threw it into the comments of, if NASCAR just got a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal, media-wise, when the breakaway happens for the major Power 5 schools or whatever it's going to be at that point, what could that number look like?
Unconscionable.
Because when I saw $7 billion for NASCAR, I went, damn, there's still quite a sum of money in that sport.
Well, and you got to understand, NASCAR and the PGA Tour have something in common. What is that old radio term that you use all the time? Fill slot.
Oh, yeah.
NASCAR fills slot real good. You know why? Because there's 4 series.
Mm-hmm.
And they each have 36 races a year. 32, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Something like that.
That's a lot of slot.
It is.
That's a lot of advertising dollars.
It is.
On a lot of NBC Sports and a lot of Speed Network. Does the Speed Network even still exist?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
I was going to say no, but then I don't know.
I did the same thing. It came out of my mouth, and I went, no, that went bankrupt a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
now I saw where the CW's getting in on the action now. They're going to have the practice rounds. Woo! It's going to be fun.
What, the practice?
The practice round, like the practice laps and stuff and like qualifying and things like that. The CW is going to be airing those.
Is the CW just like their whole programming department? Is it just we have to have something?
Yes.
To put on television?
Yes. We will grasp at any possible sporting event that we could possibly get our hands on.
So, I mean, this is, and I'm going to level. I, to this day, do not know where to find that on my television. But these are the events that I know they have had in the last handful of years. Live Golf, the ACC games that nobody wants to watch.
Yes.
I'm talking like Virginia, North Carolina, Duke, and Georgia Tech. And now you're showing NASCAR practices.
Yes.
In between reruns of One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek. What are you paying the executives of this network?
too much, whatever
if
it
it's
is.
more than the assistant manager at the new Leicester Highway McDonald's makes, by the way, one of the Cheskis McDonald's of all of them, the quickest you will ever get your food. And there's a sweet little woman that brings it to me, and she always makes sure there's ketchup in there. That's just okay.
She does it right.
She cares about people.
Good for her.
It's good stuff.
Right.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Somebody's in the drive-thru of that McDonald's right now going, I made a good choice. I don't know who that person is. Feel free to send me a message on Twitter at ESPN Draft Nerd.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, $7.7 billion. So when the contract comes up for whatever the college football major league is going to be, that's going to be it's obviously not going to be an NFL number, but it's going to be huge.
Oh, if you call the crap, it could be an NFL number. No doubt. You get rid of the mediocrity. Look how much they just spent for the Big Ten. I want you to think about that for a minute. Because for every Ohio State you get a Rutgers too. For every Penn State you get a Michigan State, who now might be quarterbacked by DJ Uiagalelei, who just entered the transfer portal as well.
Yeah.
Can we just blanket say any starter that's coming back for a team that wasn't in the top 10 is probably in the transfer portal? Is that enough of a blanket statement?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Hey, Mike Norvell, go get one of them. I need a quarterback because Tate Rodemaker ain't it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer. If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
It's the 4th annual Ugly Sweater Run 5K and 10K presented by Hunter Subaru. Saturday, December the 2nd at the Riveter in Asheville. Runners and walkers don their most outrageously festive and tacky outfits, making this the most festive race of the year. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just looking for some holiday fun, the Ugly Sweater Run is the perfect way to celebrate the season, spread joy, and create lasting memories. For more information and to get signed up, go to idaph.net, idaph.net. Proudly sponsored by 97.7 The Brew, Asheville's Christmas station.
Make it easy to navigate your health insurance coverage with #1 rated Hummingbird Insurance. Hummingbird provides free assistance for easy comparison shopping across multiple insurance carriers. Schedule a free consultation at hummingbirdins.com. Many qualify for $0 net premiums. Even high earners may qualify for tax credit subsidies. Don't wait to learn about your options. Enroll now for next year. Visit hummingbirdins.com. Hummingbird Insurance. Comparison shopping made easy.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
I was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
People who come to cricket stay with cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Back in the Sportsocracy. We got week 13 of the NFL season kicking off tonight. Thursday night football. Dallas Cowboys hosting Seattle Seahawks. Jeremy gave you the picks earlier in the program. You're taking the Dallas Cowboys minus the 9 tonight.
Yes.
That is the side to be on. I am there with you as well. Dallas minus the 9 in the matchup. Obviously Dallas wanting to make a push here for the playoffs. Other teams obviously want to cement themselves as the no doubt contenders here and put yourself in a position to win the games that you need to bring home the ring. And one player that might help you do that, Zach Ertz. Pretty good tight end. He just got cut by the Cardinals and he asked to be cut so he could go find a place to play.
Did you notice who broke that story?
J.J. Watt.
It's J.J. Watt. So he's trying out new things post-career. He was being funny. They're friends.
Mm-hmm.
So they had apparently spoken right as it happened.
Right.
Question is there a place that he could go that you think he would be an impact? Because there's one that makes all the sense in the world to me.
What, back to Philadelphia?
Back to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And Calcaterra's been hurt. Obviously, Dallas Goedert is still hurt. And Jack Stoll and Albert Okwuegbunam are just not doing much for me.
No. It makes all the sense in the world. Will Philadelphia – who was the one that was making the visits yesterday?
Shaq Leonard.
Shaq Leonard. Where's he going to end up?
We'll know after the weekend. It's Dallas, Philadelphia.
Okay, I was going to say he visited with Dallas. He was supposed to be in Philly today or tomorrow or something like that. Or maybe yesterday.
He was in Philly yesterday. He was in Dallas the day before.
Okay, all right. But this is what you do, right? And you find a stud like this that comes out on the market. It's a bidding war.
It's not so much a bidding war because neither one of them is going to catch really that much money. I mean, look, we made a big deal out of Shaq Leonard because he's a big name.
Mm-hmm.
He had not been particularly good. He is a player that in a situational role can come in and really help you. He hasn't been the same after the injuries. Zach Ertz is an older guy. He's going to need a spot where he can fill a role.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big role, just 20, 25 snaps a game, and Philadelphia makes sense there. For me, I'm trying to even think of another place that really makes sense. It's shocking how many good teams have tight ends. Baltimore I considered, but I think you're in better shape with Likely and Kohler. I loved both of those guys coming out.
Yeah.
Miami, but he doesn't block any better than Mike Gesicki did.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's going to be a real robust market for him, but there will be a team out there that feels really, really good about it.
Yeah. It is shocking how many good tight ends are on good teams.
Yes. Weird, ain't it?
It is weird. It's very weird. I mean, anyhow. Expect anything special tonight on Thursday Night Football?
Not really. I mean, you're going to get a game that'll be competitive, I think, for a half, and then Dallas blows it open late.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Seattle's in their ballpark. I don't think Seattle's in their class. I know there are some people that have been on the Seattle side because they think you're buying him so low. I don't tend to agree. I think Seattle's just showing you now who they are. Mm-hmm. People are figuring them out. They're figuring out Geno Smith. And as I've said, he played for my team. He played for my school. I got a pretty good grasp on Geno Smith.
Yeah.
If you're going to look me in the face and tell me you know that kid better than I do, we're going to go to the old scoreboard.
He definitely has to play better than he has played this year, and against that defense, I don't like your chances. I really don't.
I don't either, because you're heat them up, and I saw this against Cincinnati. And even if let's just on the off chance, let's say I'm wrong, and this stays close, and they're on the 20-yard line in the 2-minute drill. You watch Geno Smith get sacked late because he does it constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Holds on to the ball too long, doesn't even get a pass off as the game fades away. Because that's the only thing that scares me, is that they stay inside the 9, they have a shot to tie it late. I don't think you're going to do it. I saw you do this against Cincinnati. I saw you do this more than once against San Francisco. So you are.
Yeah. If you're playing tonight, do you have a special play for DFS for showdowns and stuff? Who should be your captain?
Oh, CeeDee Lamb's probably my captain. He's really expensive, but I would go CeeDee Lamb, Dallas Cowboys defense. I'll take the kicker whose name is eluding me right now. God, I got to take somebody from Seattle. Charbonnet. I mean, I would like to take DK Metcalf, but without looking, I don't think any of that salary fits.
Right. Okay. All right.
But it's football. And you know what that's better? Any of the rest of the garbage they put on television.
Absolutely. And Thursday night football is, it's one of the favorite days of the week, because Thursday night football always leads to a
Football Friday.
Damn right. We'll be here for Football Friday tomorrow at noon here on ESPN Asheville. Don't forget, if you're around the area, come on by the Smoky Park Ingles this afternoon. In about an hour, I'll be out there at the Ingles Magical Christmas Toy Drive benefiting Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project. Bring us a donation.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Pretty good handle on the waves of rain coming through. Tomorrow's rain event won't be as big as the Saturday rain event. Either way, the rain is needed, so it's a good thing. Sunshine today as we wrap up the month at 57. There'll be some cloudy intervals at times. Thickening clouds tonight, milder upper 30s. Some scattered light rain tomorrow, breezy 55. And that rain will taper off tomorrow night before another round comes in Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. And a chance of showers Sunday. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
Thousands of stores across the country are pulling brand-name cold and allergy products off the shelves. Why? Because an FDA advisory panel recently determined that a drug they contain, oral phenylephrine, is ineffective as a nasal decongestant. Navage offers a drug-free solution that's fast and highly effective at relieving nasal congestion caused by colds and allergies. Navage uses suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril to help suck out allergens, mucus, and germs. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Don't waste your time or money on products that are ineffective. Trust drug-free Navage for fast relief to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Panthers went from 1-15 in 2000.